everyone is well and rested and ready for some more joy in their lives, and also some difficult conversations, because I always bring the difficult conversations to the table where others cannot. I am the person who will. So guys, let's talk about the English people's relationship with the Eastern Europeans. I currently have a post that has 263,000 views here, okay? Whoop. 263,000 views, it's backwards, and 32,000 likes, talking about the English and their relationship with Poland. Thank you, Castro. Of course, I stand with everybody, just not the English, and that's what upsets them. I stand with anybody, black, white, Eastern Europeans, the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, Asian people, Pakistanis, Indians, Africans, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Caribbeans, South Americans, Aboriginal Australians. I stand with everybody, animals, plants. I just don't stand with the English. I just don't stand with the English. My platform is always about understanding true history and what goes on in the island and the way that English people manipulate situations, like they've manipulated Henry Nowak. Yes, thank you, Castro. Exactly. It's Celts country, not Anglos. Fifi, good to see you. Ambreen, good to see you. Dandykin says, said in an English accent must be tough. Why? Why is it tough? Why would it be tough? Can you explain a little bit more about that? Why would I get upset about the way I talk? We'll wait for your answer a little bit. I'd like you to explain what you mean. Ronaldinho says, I stand with the exact opposite what this creature stands for. So exactly, you stand for England. You stand for racism, discrimination, barbarity. You stand for all of these things, and I don't stand for those things. So we would never be compatible. Never. We would never be compatible. And so with that note, you get to enjoy yourself in the block section. Bye. Go and enjoy yourself somewhere else. I have so much hatred for the English, and have an English accent is hilarious. If you find that funny, if that's your level of sense of humour, cool. Okay, so this is the topic today, guys. English people bullied the Polish Henry Nowaks, and now they're using him. And English people, you are a shame. You are the most horrendous group of people on this planet. The Polish have come out to say that they are horrified by your behaviour and horrified by your actions. Honestly, let's read some of the comments that the Polish have made regarding the things and the way that you have used Henry. Yeah, let's read that, shall we? Let's read some of the comments of what the Polish have said. In fact, actually, let me just change the top, because this is what I've done. I've actually got all of the imagery here, all of the things that Polish people have said. Let's read this one, okay? Completely right. Still to this day, I still witness it and had to break up an altercation myself. It's a double standard at this point, even the whole flag polluting. It makes them feel uneasy to a point. For people like us, we've dissolved in society and just gotten used to this sort of oppression. But I don't think we should let them get used to this as well, but rather make it known that we don't stand for this. This is from the Polish to the English. I have more. Let's get the next one. Here. Can I move it? Why can't I move it? Here we go. As a Pole, the whole outrage over Henry's tragedy is so fucking sickening. It makes me nauseous. First of all, his family already stated to not use his death to spread hate against Sikhs. Why are they disrespecting his family's wishes? Second of all, right-wing Brits used to advocate for deporting Polish immigrants. They considered Slavs not white enough. Why did they suddenly pretend to care? Oh, right, because they can weaponize it to justify their racism. This is straight from Polish people. Polish people are telling you this. Next comment. I have to go in here, 1 minute. This one, did I click it? Oh, it's not big enough. Hold on, some of them are not big enough. Oh, did I do it? Hold on. Some of them are not big enough. Oh, it won't let me choose some of these because the pictures are too small. We do it? No. Right, I'll have to read them from the comment section. Because I have plenty, obviously, to choose from. Plenty. You guys would love to hear more comments from the Polish. I know you would. Because English people, in your mind and in your ego, you can't stand it when people are actually truthful about you and what you do. Let's read some more. They have to stop using us Polish people for their racist nonsense. We've been used for Brexit, called us Polish vermin, and now we're good immigrants? Ridiculous. This is what the Polish are saying about you. Literally, Brexit happened because of hatred towards Polish and Romanian people. And I even have some Polish comments here. Okay, even some Polish comments written in Polish. You see? Even though it's backwards. Polish people writing here. Someone else says, this is the perfect video, thank you for this, because it attracts all the right-wingers into the chat screaming, he's a British boy with Polish heritage. Okay, Dave, do you look at the everyday black or brown male or female like this, that they are a British individual with Asian heritage or African heritage or Caribbean heritage? No, for us, it's a different kind of process of elimination. Next comment. Insult to Henry's father. Just shows the far right only care about the colour of his skin. Next one. I'm ashamed of my country. An English person who wrote that, clearly. Another person. This is disgusting. Using a poor dead boy's hand as a prop to push white supremacist values is actually insane. Next comment. White British people are bottom of the barrel, low-life racists, using Henry's death to be racist. You lot are bastards. Don't even like people like Henry deep down. Next comment. That's more disrespectful to his family. He's an immigrant and they are doing this shit not taking into account his family wish for a better for all immigrants and not just the British. Should I continue, guys? There's plenty there. There's absolutely plenty. This is what I literally do on this platform. I advocate for everybody, including other white people, just not English people. And you get upset about it. And yes, when I do say white people sometimes, it is about white Western Europeans who actually uphold white supremacist values and white narcissist values. And those people who get triggered by that are the ones who actually uphold the values I just mentioned. This is how it works, English people. You want to see yourselves as so separate to everybody else, and so you have behaved separately to everybody else and are not liking it when people around the world are noticing your behavior. It's noticed. It is noticed. So we've got someone who wants to come to panel. We've got Mark Ewa, if he's still there. It's joining real slow. Mark, how are you today? Can you hear me? Hold on. It's being real slow. Okay, let me disconnect and we'll try again. Mark, if you can hear me. For some reason, it's not... Oh, you're there. Hello. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. I wasn't actually meant to come up. I'm just kind of listening in.
Oh, okay. Do you want to drop down then?
I'm not sure how to do that. You can drop me if you want.
I'll drop you. Thank you, Mark. Okay, we got Still Got Faith here. Still Got Faith, how are you today?
How you doing, sister?
I'm okay.
First of all,
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again as well. For the people in the audience that have a preconceived notion, rest in peace to Henry Novak. You are loved and you are missed. But moving forward, this just speaks to the destiny swapping and racism that is rife in this country, and now they are undermining the death of an innocent teen in order to project their racism. When you talk about two-tier racism, you're talking about what happened to black people, right? You're talking about the fact that we are 5 times more likely to get handcuffed. What is it? 7 to 8 times more likely to die in police custody. That is what the Macpherson report found. And that was over 40 years, 4 decades of oppression, marginalization, and institutional racism. In fact, the last words that Henry Novak heard was his rights. Stephen Lawrence, actually, on the other hand, the last thing he heard was a white Christian holding his hand saying, "Stephen, you are loved." We all want that ending. We all want to be told that we're loved when we die. We don't want to hear that our rights being read to us. But what you're doing is you're weaponizing an isolated event to project your neo-Nazi racism. Because that's what it is. You don't really want us here. You've never wanted us here. You've never made us feel welcome.
Yeah.
And every time we tell you that we're Black British, we are actually showing you mercy. We are actually showing you forgiveness, but you don't see that because your hearts are black. I saw a post the other day on Facebook, a black guy died. And people in the comments are talking about Henry and Mark Duggan. Why are you mentioning other people's deaths for? Why couldn't you just say, R.I.P. mate?
They can't do
God
it.
bless your family.
They
Why
cannot
can't
do
you
it.
have that human instinct? And it speaks back to your forefathers who would call us subhuman but would still grape us. Why would you grape something you deem to be a monkey? It's animalistic, just like what you're doing now. I watched GBN News, two-tier, and people are shouting and getting angry. What are you angry about? When have you ever been handcuffed and slung in the back of a van for the colour of your skin? Don't say it happens all the time. That's a lie. And I'm not saying that the police don't stop white people. Of course they do. They should do. It's a 96% white police force and an 87% white majority country. So white people, they're not getting arrested, and the police obviously definitely ain't doing their jobs. But we know disproportionately the records and the data is there. What data am I talking about? I'm talking about racial equality racial equality data. We're talking about independent commissions that have analyzed this over decades. And the state has done nothing about it. Nobody has spoken out on our behalf. In fact, there is one MP that I still wish was around, and that was Tony Benn. He's not a black man, because at least he spoke fairly.
Right.
I wish that Bernie Grant was still around, because the person who succeeded him, David Lammy, is not doing the duty of Bernie Grant. He's not spreading the message of peace that Bernie Grant spent. So all of you people in the comments, if you think this is racism, you heard how I started my conversation. So if you're saying racism, it could never be racism, we prejudice. But if you're saying that I'm prejudiced, look in the mirror, you're projecting. Because I said, rest in peace, Henry, you are loved, and that comes from the heart. You people are asinine and disgusting. And I'm not speaking to white people, I'm speaking to racist white people. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And if you're saying there isn't a difference, then you said it yourself. If the shoe fits, may you wear it. Talk about the pot calling the kettle white.
Precisely. That's exactly
disgusting.
it. If the shoe fits, they always wear it, regardless of what you say, what you do. They will show themselves, even if you're saying nothing. They will show themselves. So it really doesn't matter what we do or say in a platform. They're just here. They've always been here. And the universe is deciding that they're not going to be here for very much longer. The universe has decided that. Thank you so much for that, Still Got Faith. This is the thing. When we talk about black struggles and brown struggles, it is very frustrating because we are literally talking to people who don't want to care about the struggles that we've faced. They don't want to care and they don't hear it, especially when we've actually become prosperous out of this struggle. They don't care. So when you talk about certain statistics and certain things that are happening, they'll always say, well, you've done all right. You sound okay. That's it. That's what they do. They always try to dismiss.
You've done all right because you've worked hard. You've worked hard despite, in the workplace, if anything goes wrong, they suspect you even after 10 years of great service. Yep. Well, you have to be an entrepreneur because working for them, you're always going to be suspected.
Yes.
You've never got on a train and had the whole carriage staring at you because of the colour of your skin. You've never gone through that. And you're talking about two-tier. An isolated event, 5 events, grooming gangs is not two-tier. And why do you think that DEI was put into place? Why do you think it was there? Because it was obviously unequal. That's why. And there's no training that told police officers to kill white people. If you're suggesting that, I put it to you that you're lying. That has never ever happened. Haley, in the comments, if you're not going to come up and say something productive, please go away. You're part of the problem, not the solution. You're not here to unite anyone. You're here to cause trouble and confusion because you're racist. Because you got rejected by a black or mixed race man. You are a racist.
Haley did come up to panel, and I don't know why she's decided to run away. Haley, are you worried that you won't be able to speak as eloquently as the rest of us up here or something? I don't know if she's still here. Is she still here? I don't know. Haley, this is the same. This is she's here. She's here. Haley is here. Haley, why don't you come to panel? Why did you run away, Haley? Why? Why, Haley? Why did you run? You can come up. See that box there? Click that. Come back up.
And if you read that prompting verbatim, that is not demonizing the deceased. That is speaking to the hypocrisy of once Polish people, Brexit, get them out, and all of a sudden they become your national hero. Rule Britannia. Exactly. And you're waving the Union Jack in his name. You never waved the Union Jack in Stephen Lawrence's name. Did you?
They didn't.
Why on earth are A-Court brothers and Luke Knight still at large? Why are they still free? Why aren't you marching for that? Why are you not signing the petition to get the double jeopardy law revised and have them locked up? Because you know they killed him, but you don't care because he's Jamaican in your eyes. He's not British. Yeah. He's Jamaican.
Yeah. Someone made a really good point. I don't think I have the quotes on this phone, which is very frustrating. Someone said if his name was Henrik Nowakowski or something like that, the British wouldn't care. This is an easy name for them to pronounce, so it sounds some kind of familiar, and that's why they actually can resonate, and that's why they think they can fight for him. Honestly, when somebody wrote that in my comment section, I was like, you've got it. You've absolutely got it. You've got it.
But you know something? It's only real uneducated Anglo-Saxons that can tell that a W is never pronounced with a V in the English vernacular. So you know that would be a Slavic name. You know that anyway. So that speaks more to your miseducation and your ignorance. Novak's father is a Pole.
Someone else has said in the comment section. So I've mentioned this video that I have on my page, my other account. Okay, it has 32.2 thousand likes. Okay, now 1,049 comments. And it is full of Polish people. 1 minute, let me finish. It is full of Polish people disgusted at the English. Full of them disgusted with the English. It says, the scary thing is these people actually think they're being respectful with all this nonsense. New biggest fear unlocked. Dying and being used like this young lad has been. Disgraceful behaviour. Continued. This comment alone has got 2,800 likes. Let's not forget Brexit was highly fueled by their hatred for Polish. Absolutely disgusting. Next comment. Being Polish is weird because the rest of the world wants to choose when we get to be white. Polish people are heavily, in capital letters, discriminated against in Western Europe, including the UK. Someone else put, I thought Brits hated Polish people. I'm Polish and I'm disgusted. Effing sickening. Far from what the family wanted. He's Polish. As a Polish person, this is disgusting. And it goes on and on and on and on. And I don't know if everyone's got the same algorithm as me. I have so many Polish videos now on my algorithm talking about this. Talking about the discrimination they face. And also, I've mentioned this years ago about the man that was unalived in 2016 by English people because he was Polish. And also, the heartbreaking thing in this comment section that I have is the children who have now grown up and they're older and they're saying, I remember the discrimination I felt as a kid. And also kids unaliving themselves because the bullying was so bad by the English. There are newspaper reports about it.
just to add to what you're saying, it's kind of funny actually. I remember decades ago when I was working the building site. I remember an English guy saying to me, a white Anglo-Saxon English guy saying to me, "Oh, I don't mind you, bruv. You're English and you pay a tax. These fucking Poles, I want to get out of my country." That's what he said to me back then. He called him a bozo. They used to call the Poles bozos on building sites, as in Bosnian. They couldn't even make the distinction between Polish and Bosnian.
They always have a slur for every group, don't they? Every group, they always have a slur. They are the inventors of all of the most derogatory words for people on this planet. They always do it. They always do it. It's honestly insane how much they dislike everybody. Like I've always said, their dislike of people is absolutely indiscriminate. It is indiscriminate. It doesn't matter what body you come in, what skin you come in. If you are not of Anglo-Saxon heritage, you are immediately disliked. They come from the most insecure group of people on this planet. And this is why I will never let up on them. I will always have smoke for the English. And something interesting as well, guys, which is very cool, is that it's not the first time that I've made it to right-wing Twitter. This is now the second time I'm on right-wing Twitter, guys. It means I made it. It means I made it. So I posted a video on my page asking the question, did Henry Nowak deserve to die? Because of what British people do. English people, they always are judge, jury and executioner, and always telling us they should have complied. They should have not been doing that. They should have been behaving more. Because if they don't behave, then of course you're going to be unalived. Henry Nowak was the instigator in the situation. Read the court documents. These people can't read, so I read it out loud. I said he instigated it. I never said he deserved to die. Clearly I don't believe that. It's disgusting what happened to him. I said that a million times. But these English people, they don't understand the difference between you deserve to get first place on that. Well done. You deserve to get first place. Instead of, did you deserve to get first place? So one's a question. Do you think you deserve? One's a question and one's a statement. One is a question and one is a statement. And it's so frustrating trying to teach English people the one and only language they know. It is ridiculous. Right, we're going to Fifi next. Thank you, Still Got Faith, still catch on, thank you. And Peter Ade, that's what I'm doing, God's work. It's very challenging. It has its challenges, but I accept the challenge. So Fifi, it's your turn, please. So everybody else who's new on the panel, please do wait for your time to speak. I do call everybody one at a time. And if you do interrupt, you do get dropped. We have decorum around these parts. Fifi, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm just going to keep this brief. Keep doing what you're doing. These English people, some of them, not all of them, I've actually had really good conversations with a few of them. But the ones that we are talking about, if the shoe fits, please wear it. Because I have seen how it's so embarrassing. Like, they genuinely believe that they're trending with this new thing. And it was just dumb.
Yeah, they do believe. They believe they've made a worldwide movement, but they've become a worldwide mockery.
But that's the thing. They have made me laugh this whole weekend. I have not laughed so much in my life like this. It's the way they were like, we're trending. And I was like, oh my gosh, let me check it. So I checked that they were doing it in Australia. And I realized they were all patriots they were all English people. Yeah. And I was like, where's the Aussie flag? Where's the Aussie, oi, oi, oi?
Yeah, and even as well, and even in the article, they also say, well, Black Lives Matter has also been dragged into this. So it's not like decent activism, because all the newspaper reports that I've seen have been very neutral. It's like, this situation happened with Henry, the English patriots are standing up, but they're using Black Lives Matter slogans.
I have
so
never
people are looking at
Let me even get into it. So they were trying to attack David Lammy for taking the knee. And I'm like, Nick, please. They didn't want us to do the knee in the first place. They booed so many players off the pitch. So what are you talking about that he should do the knee? And I was really angry, David Lammy, because if it was me, I would have been like, that knee was meant for black people in America's police
Well, we
brutality?
know that David Lammy sold his soul quite some time ago. The way that
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
really defending the blue and white country in the Houses of Parliament, not willing to answer questions on whether the British were actually still funding the fighter jets for there, which they were. So unfortunately, we did lose one of our brothers to that. When the money gets too good, these people feel like they can't stay what they were supposed to stay. And David Lammy, of course, was a decent politician for quite some years. But I've mentioned this before about how unfortunate it is that black and brown people, once they get into politics now, it is so insidious in the UK that they end up falling into this nasty anti-British, anti-immigrant dissent rhetoric, and they really start to go against their own, and it's very, very sad indeed.
Yeah, exactly that. The British people, the English people especially, because it's just really sad to see it's a certain demographic
Yeah.
of English people. Get
Yes.
what I'm, if you lot are getting what I'm grasping, it's a certain demographic of English people that are actually doing the knee, and I genuinely feel so sorry for them. And one more thing, you lot, there was a video of Jamie talking about Father Ads when we were talking about Black Lives Matter. He had the cheek to say, and this is why I need all black people to go to his comment section.
Who
He
is
had the cheek
this?
to say,
Who is this?
Jamie something. So one far right guy. Jamie said that the guy was using a fake accent. He has an MLE, and he said he's using a fake accent, and it's jarring. And I was like, you don't even realize your microaggression all over that video. Because Father Ass was basically talking about how they took Black Lives Matter, and then he was like, you don't owe those letters. And I was like, what? Yes, they do. If you research it, you'll see that you can't copyright. So if Americans find out, you're in trouble. They want to do the knee when they go to World Cup. Good luck to them.
They're good. They are literally gonna get. They don't, and that's the thing, right? So the conversation, of course, I had Friday, was it when I did the live, or Saturday? I can't remember. Was about how English people think that they can do things. Actually, no. Let me rephrase this. So my topic was, what was it? Something like English. No, I said. Basically, Henry Novak poked the bear, right? You were there, I think, Fifi. Yeah. So it was like, read the case study. I said exactly how it was. Henry Novak was the instigator in the situation, right? And he fucked around and found out. And the English people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Which made me really understand that English people think that they can behave however they want without consequence. And this is, again, the type of entitlement that we've been talking about. They really think that they can do whatever and not have shit come back to them. So I don't know if you've I don't know if you've also seen, guys, that there was that GB News presenter that went to the US and started interviewing that black guy who was starting shouting.
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw it, right? You saw how angry, how angry he was. This boy, he's only protected because he had that microphone and the camera on him, because otherwise he would have really... If English people think they go to if you go into the World Cup now and you're saying anything, you will get serious smoke. And this is what I'm telling you. I'm trying to warn you guys here, but you guys get so defensive.
I can't wait. I want to see how this plays out, because I will laugh at them when it goes viral. This is the same thing you tried to do the BAFTA. Black Americans will come for you.
Yeah.
Black British people are very calm.
Too
We're
calm.
not going to come for you, but Black Americans will come for you if you actually have the cheek to say BLM, British oppressor flag. It's all over for you guys.
Exactly.
But anyway, I just want to say there's also another one where it really made me laugh. I'm sorry, it's just been a weekend of laughter. these English people, they really want to be oppressed so bad. Like, basically, they got arrested for Southampton. They're so angry. They're like, why Black Lives Matter protest happened? They kneeled for a criminal. They didn't get arrested. Black Palestine, they didn't get arrested. Look at how they treat us. And I'm like, bro, do you not realize that when you're oppressed, getting arrested is part of it? So you're doing the process correct.
Exactly.
If you're getting oppressed.
Exactly. If that's what you think oppression is, if that's what you think oppression looks like, that is literally the consequence. But again, these people don't understand action and consequence, which I very much was surprised by on the live last week and my subsequent videos. Very, very, very surprised. But also, at the same time, not surprised. I think I was just more surprised by the actual limitation of their brains. Like, I honestly, I can't. Thank you, Fifi. Stick around. We're going to go to Rob now next, please. Rob Troubadour, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm lovely, thank you. So what would you like to add to the topic
Great
today?
stuff.
This is the topic, is English people have bullied the Polish. Henry Nowaks, and
I
now
mean,
they use him in unalivement.
100% they bullied Polish people, you know. You go back to Brexit and you see that was the narrative then, wasn't it? The narrative was get these Polish people out of my country. Get these, and I think it was Romanian people at one
Yeah,
point as
as
well,
well.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
In there?
anybody.
So it was
anyone from
anybody
Eastern
that was
Europe, including the Polish.
actually, but most of those Polish people were carpenters and builders, and you know they were doing stuff, good stuff for the country. They were helping the country. You know, I come from a hospitality background, and a lot of my Polish friends from that actually left the country and went back home, you know, because they didn't want to be here anymore. They're like, why am I going to be around? And they're quite blunt people, the Polish. Like, they're quite straight talking. Like, they don't mess around.
They are.
They do not mess around. And yeah, they said, why am I going to stick around with these guys? Like, if they don't want me here, I'm going back home. Like, see you later. I'm off. And it was literally like within weeks they were gone. But yeah, also I wanted to say, like, I do feel a little bit out of my depth being on a panel of you know, black people, because I'm a white English guy. I don't claim to be as educated as I should be in the stuff that you guys have had to go through and things like that. And I'm learning and I'm listening. I know some stuff. Like, are white people oppressed? Absolutely not. We are not oppressed. Have I been oppressed in my life? Absolutely not. That is the most atrocious thing I've ever heard in my whole entire life. Abhorrent even, because you guys and other ethnic minorities have definitely been oppressed over us, you know. And I think it comes down to, and I said yesterday, I think it comes down to the education system. Yes. We talk about history and the British Empire, and all the companies, you know, going around the world, were basically, you know, pillaging and destroying countries over and over. And I think that's the issue, is that in history, when we're taught in school, we're taught the British Empire is amazing, it's great, it's did great things around the world. It built a railway. You know, it built a railway.
Which people actually built the railway? The people of the countries built the railways.
The people of the country, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
English people
we helped them. We helped them. We gave them the idea, and they built it. Yeah, we don't get taught that stuff in school. We get taught the good
and
stuff.
Railways already existed, like different types of railway services, like horse and cart rails and all different kind of things. And metal smelting goes back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So all of the things that English people came up with already existed. And that's what technology is, and that's what invention is. It's always improving on someone else's idea. But unfortunately, the English were like, no, nothing existed beforehand. We created everything from our brains. We created everything from... You didn't. You didn't.
And that's it, man. And that's it. It's so tunnel, like the tunnel vision of it all.
Yeah.
But it's archaic education system that needs to be updated.
Yes.
And people need to be educated on this.
You're very right.
And that's basically that's all I need to say. Really, that's my bit.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
38, Rob. Do you know what? You sound younger, which is so funny to me.
Oh, thank you so much.
You sound younger. Because I was thinking, this guy is so advanced for his age. And it's like, oh, you're 38. Okay. But no, you know enough, right? And this is the whole thing, is that if you have this, even what you call limited understanding, it is not limited. It's actually the right amount of knowledge that you're supposed to have in 2026. Like, you understand the bigger picture. Unfortunately, a lot of English people, and too many English people, are living in a very small world which is just in front of their eyes. They're not willing to open up their mind. They're not willing to listen to other voices. They're not willing to just listen to people online, right? All you need to do is listen. I have ADHD. Reading for me is just like, ugh, I don't want to read anything. I just sit and listen. If there's something that catches me, then I will literally watch a TikTok video that's very quick, or if I have a greater interest, I will literally just Google it and read a little bit more. There is no excuse not to know anything in 2026. We have access to anything and everything. So this is where we talk
It's
about...
all at your hands, isn't it?
Yes,
It's all there.
it's all there. It's absolutely all there. So, like, for people who just don't want to learn and educate themselves, it is very sad, because we're supposed to be humans which are evolving. We never stay still. We never stay stuck. So we're supposed to keep growing, supposed to keep learning, supposed to really try to understand each other. But unfortunately, there's one group of people on this planet have no interest in learning anything more about anyone else, and also having some kind of amnesia every time that they do something. So English people, I have a video on my page talking about basically every year since the 1900s, they have always disliked the people that have come to Britain after the English, because the English aren't indigenous to British. So every group that have come after, they've been like, get out of my country. Even the Celtic people, who have a longer history, they're discriminatory towards those people. So this is the thing, wherever the English go, and that group of people, into the Americas, into Australia, it's that same mindset. They take over, they colonize, and they don't respect the people that are on the land already, or anywhere else. You see, when they go on holiday, getting arrested, getting drunk, causing fights, doing all of this nonsense behaviour. And then expecting there not to be any retaliations for their behaviour. Really, it's crazy.
I'm here nodding. I'm here nodding away. Like my neck's hurting. How much I'm nodding. And I think Fee. I've been on a couple of lives with Fee, and she nailed it. You know, it is a. I don't want to feel like I have to say it, but it is a demographic. You know.
Yeah.
It is a demographic of a certain type. Because there are other white guys that I know that don't have these opinions. You know, I don't know if you know other people around, but it is, we don't. It's like I reckon it's a 10%, 20%, 30%, maybe 40%. I don't know. I'd like to think there's more of me than
Well, I will
them,
give you, I'll give you a little bit of a reality check, Rob. A bit of a reality check. I'm not that much older than you. I'm 42, but I obviously have a history in the country, 3 generations of family who live in the country, and other people around you will tell you the same thing. Like I say, Eastern Europeans are up here, right? Is that we know the depths of racism, and English people don't know the depths. It's not just name calling. It's not just a case of being okay with somebody one day. A lot of the time, and we have a lot of personal experiences, unfortunately, is that even our English friends who have said they're friends will turn around and do something racist, or they will all of a sudden just change and show their real deep jealousy or dislike of us. It is very, very difficult to actually find genuine English friendships. It is very difficult, honestly. It's very true.
Crazy.
And
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this is the thing, though. We could be friends with somebody like you, Rob, who actually understands the history, especially in 2026. This is very important right now. But what happens is that a lot of English people prefer to have a superficial relationship with you. So as long as we're dancing, as long as we're having fun, everything is cool. But if there's a difficult situation that requires some kind of English standing up for somebody, or, you know, it then falls apart. The friendships always fall apart. And I also noticed this is very much a difference between the men and women in the UK. And even goes cross ethnicity and cross racially. Men will always say it's banter in their racism towards black and brown people or anyone from the global majority, right? They will always say it's banter. But then as soon as a white person from the global majority comes out of that and says, well, actually, it's not banter, it's actually racism, the English person gets defensive. And then a lot of the time, the friendships fall apart. So unfortunately, that is the reality of it. It is the global majority of people. We have tried, we come, we settle, we work, we do everything that Britain requires us to do. But English people also don't like it. We can never be British enough. We can never be English enough. It's not something that I claim for myself because I'm very tied to my African heritage. So I was born in Britain. I just ended up having to be British. And a lot of people who end up being the descendants of immigrants just happen to be British. And so we end up born into a system, you know. So it's very important that you understand the depths of it. I mean, we even talk about even going back to school in places where we're expecting our teachers to protect us, or other kids who are also our age still doing racist stuff to us, like really horrific stuff. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, we had Polish kids in my comment section who are now a little bit older talking about the racism that they experienced in England. And like you said, a lot of Polish people having to go back to Poland. So it's still there. It's unfortunate, because there needs to just be more people like yourself who are willing to see the bigger picture in order for the country's dynamics to change. Yeah.
I was on a live last night, and I gave this thing. I live in a quite it's I'm trying to explain how it would be. So it's a majority white area, quite affluent. Everyone's very middle class. It's a student town as well. There's some students around, and I worked in hospitality at this time. And there's a black girl that I work with, and on a weekly basis, she would be racially abused on a weekly basis, and I would have to go up to the people that were racially abused her and kick them out. Like, I don't want you here. I don't want you in the restaurant. What's that got to do with English
people, though? I don't get it. Just
please don't interrupt. You clearly, Snow, have seen that we're all waiting here. We're all talking maturely, Snow. If you can't talk maturely, then you won't be allowed to stay up on the panel. It's not a Neanderthal panel here. You can go somewhere else and do that, Snow. So please just wait.
Oh, then you shouldn't be here since you're Neanderthal. Yeah, but you're a dirty nigger, though, so maybe you should...
Wow.
Bye.
And there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Yes, that's all they do.
Quadrupedal. You translucent gimp.
Okay, we don't need to also go down that route. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go down to the level. Honestly, don't do that. Rob, some finishing points for you, then I'm going to move to Eva, please.
Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Keep at it, and thank you so much for giving me a bit of education and helping me out. You know,
no problem.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Still got Faith. I don't know if you're still here. It did just ask me to remove you, probably because of the words that you just said. Like, I don't like using any kinds of slurs or any kind of derogatory language for other people. Really, don't do it. Like I say, don't end up like those people, because we're not the Neanderthals, they are. And the funny thing is, how did he call me a Neanderthal? Because, like, it's not even part of our DNA. He doesn't even know what a Neanderthal is. Okay, we've got Eva next, please. Eva, how are you?
Oh, hi. Straight away, I excuse for my English.
Right, don't excuse. No excuses. I'm not going to judge you because I'm not a Neanderthal English. So please continue. I love your accent already.
I just want to say about the experience, actually say, I'm Polish. I live here like 22 years. And I remember when I came to UK, even when I go to shop, they're hearing me, I speak Polish, straight away the security follow me. They was thinking I want to steal the stuff from shop. Then when I start working, boss was came and straight away he was said me, oh, you cannot speak English with, you cannot speak Polish with your Polish friend. This is England, you have to speak English. Then another thing is, my husband is a Sikh, and our kids is mixed, and you guys don't know how many friends I lost because I didn't get the Polish or white even husband. And people just hate me, and even now I say it's horrible what was happened, but I said it anything happened, like my kids is half anything happened to them, I was thinking if the Polish people will stand with my kids because they are not white, they're just brown mix, if they stand with it, and never ever believe the Polish people are not racist.
Yeah. This is the stuff that is so sad. Like, it's really so sad when you come to a country, and especially their advertising, right, is to try and tell you that it's a really diverse country full of diverse people and prosperity and opportunity. And when you go there and you experience something different, and especially where you've left your country of origin, you are so hopeful of where you're going to go, and then you meet a husband, you have a beautiful husband and you've got your beautiful family, and you are disappointed because the people around you have not made you feel comfortable. That's your home. Eva, you're supposed, every single person on this planet is supposed to feel comfortable in their own home, and that's what I find really sad. I find so many things sad about English, and like these guys who are here regularly know this, that I have had a lot of thoughts in my head about the English people for 2 years before I started speaking about it online. And thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for that. And it took me a long time to start talking about English. But now when I talk about it, of course, I have people from all over the world telling me about their experiences. And certain experiences make me feel very sad. And your experiences just made me feel very sad, Eva. Like very, very sad. Because I said on my platform for a long time that English people are so discriminatory towards Eastern Europeans. So discriminatory. And I felt that last year when I was talking about this, that Polish people and Eastern Europeans had forgotten about their treatment. I honestly felt that. I thought that you guys had forgotten and you'd started to assimilate and then started to have that attitude, which was like English attitude, which is just don't like anybody. And in my experience, I'm a black woman. I spent a lot of time in Eastern Europe. My pinned post on my other page is about how much time I spent in Eastern Europe, and I've been everywhere. And it talks about how much I love Eastern Europeans. And English people get so upset about that because I just don't like them. They get upset, and because I don't say it's white people, like Polish people, you were not treated with the same respect as being a white person in England, because English people, they are so holding on to this Anglo-Saxon ethnicity and who do they think is white enough. And I mean, I don't know if you know anything about the Henry Nowak case at the moment. Do you know anything about it?
I know very well. I was sitting 2 weeks in a courtroom.
Oh.
I was hearing everything, even the last day for the sentence. Them's family was start talking to me and another white friend, like, where are you sitting? Why are you sitting with Big Was family? You're supposed to sitting with us, with the white people. And they just start shouting in a courtroom racist comment. And, you know, everyone in now on a TikTok I see like, Big Was family start shouting. No, they did not. They did not. I was been for 2 weeks in the courtroom. I was hearing everything. I was see everything. And as a me, Polish, and my husband is sick, everyone say, why you not on his Henry side? No, I know how Polish people, even Henry was been half, I know how they act when they're drunk. And no one tell me is racist is not exist. I saw the video when he starts record the Vikram, everything is totally different what they say in the news. That's why now I never ever going to believe any news because it's not true.
That's so.
What was in a courtroom, what is in the news is totally different.
That's so interesting, you know, because I did a live on the weekend and I talked about why is it not mentioned that Henry Nowak was the one who instigated the situation? And it's not an excuse for what happened, because it was obviously awful what happened and it should not have escalated. Yeah, and it should not have escalated. But there was no real conversation about how Henry was the one who actually was the instigator of the situation, right? He actually was antagonizing Digwa. He was antagonizing him. And when I've read the court transcript in full now, if anybody's not read the court, over the weekend, right, I spent my time on judiciary.uk, which literally has all sentencing cases from, I don't know how far it goes back, but there's a lot of sentences cases on there, right? I did just like random reading. So I just picked one at random, I read the case. Picked another one at random, read the case. This case is the most biased case that I've ever read in my life. Okay, this is 6 pages. There are 35 sections. If you haven't read the case, guys, please go and read it. And you come back and tell me if the judge was biased. I already said previously that the judge was not biased, okay? It was not biased. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 giant paragraphs talking about how Henry was a good person. This is supposed to be a neutral thing, right? When you read the court cases, go and read them. They're supposed to be very neutral. This is all about testimony about how Henry was an amazing person. Interesting. Why are you like buttering him up or something. Why are you saying that he's all this person, right? Doesn't quite make sense. And then there's a key paragraph that goes down, which I was really, 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 really perturbed by. Okay, let me find it. Where is it? It is, there's many parts in here, but it was the one particularly how he calls out the Sikh community. The judge is talking about the Sikh community, honestly. Where is it? Let me find it. Where is it? Let me just find it, because I can't remember. Go down. Not that one. It is about judgment. Okay, yeah, here it is. So if you go to 25, if anyone reads it, you can literally go to judiciary.uk. It says, in addition to unaliving Henry and the irreparable harm to those close to him, you have caused real suffering to others who knew him. You have brought shame upon your family, your community, and your religion. Why is an English judge calling into question his religion? It says, your actions have stirred up racial tension in Southampton and across the country, which have made many Sikhs worried about their own safety, even though they have done absolutely nothing wrong. The judge has written this. By the way, this came out before there were these riots. It came out before, right? It came out. This is what the judge has written in its notes on its final sentencing remarks. Somebody who came up here on the panel already told me they lived in Southampton as a brown person. I don't know if they were, which background they came from, but they just told me, they said, I'm brown and I live in Southampton. And they said there's been racial tensions in the area for a long time. A long, long, long time. And honestly, the fact that I read that bit in the judge's remarks, all you need to do is just go and read anyone at random. It is not like this. For example, we've got the Chaz Corrigan case, if you guys know about this, which is the where was he from? Sorry, Saudi Arabian boy that was unalived by an English boy, right? And he's got 22 years. So there are kind of similarities in the cases where it's kind of a random attack and somebody was unalived, and Chaz Corrigan has got 22 years. Okay, Cambridge, thank you, Julia, good to see you. If you read the way that this case is presented in comparison is night and day. There's nothing in here about Mohammed Al-Ghassam, who was the victim, being like, oh, he's this person and the community loved him, blah, 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 he had friends, la, la, la. Nothing like that. And Chaz Corrigan, there's nothing about his personality. There is only this story about the fact that he was carrying a knife because he carried it for self-defense, apparently. It was apparently a trauma that he had because he got attacked before, that he was carrying a weapon on him. And of course, if something happened, he would use it. But the difference in the writing is completely different. Nothing personal in there. It says, it is in my opinion, I am satisfied that, I regard, like that's literally how this judge is speaking. But like I say, in the other case with Digwa and Henry Nowak, he's talking in there saying, I am sure, and he can't be sure. The judge cannot be sure of certain things, right? Because the judge wasn't there and there was no witnesses to any of this except for the aftermath, okay? Everyone needs to understand this. The only witnesses that were there were Henry and Vikram. Those are the only two people who could testify what happened there, except for the people who came after. And of course, you had 2 phones with video footage. Those are the only things that are real evidence. In that case file, he is so opinionated. Like I said, he's bringing up the Sikh community. You're a disappointment. And the 5-6 sentences about giving a character testimony for Henry are so long, really long. And again, this is so completely biased. So, guys, this is the English justice system. They're talking about this 2-tier stuff. And honestly, if you read it, we know as black and brown people, it's always been 2-tier. They've always treated us differently. They always have. Is there any more information that you can give us, Eva, regarding anything that you saw in the court or your feelings about it? And you said you were there for 2 weeks.
Yes, and that also is point, because everything when they say he is guilty, this everything happened in the same day as a protest, as the police start talking, and they give him he is guilty in a one day. And I see even judge, I think his mood, everything was changed to the Vikram on same day. I don't know if this is the pressure of media or anything. It's bit weird, really. But the jury, I think only 1 or 2 people was being foreigners. The whole jury was being like white people, which I don't know. They're not read any statement of the Vikram how he is.
Yeah, that's the
Who he
thing.
is.
That's the thing. From what I read and what I understand, is that this is the problem. If you're trying to be unbiased in a situation, English people can't stand it. Like, they really can't stand it. And of course, when you get selected for jury duty, you're supposed to be as neutral and as unbiased as possible. But unfortunately, we do all come with some kind of prejudices, right? That's unfortunate.
Yes.
And that's why you're supposed to have a mixed jury, so then you can get different opinions on things. Absolutely. Degwa did the crime, he should be in prison, right? He should be in prison. 21 years, I think, is appropriate for what he did. And the way that he then taunted and filmed after was absolutely disgusting. For 10 minutes or something like that. Various videos, horrible things he did after. Horrible things.
Yeah.
But it is this character assassination of him previously. But based on the videos, it literally showed that Henry was the instigator, like I've said before. Henry was the one that took his phone out. Henry was the one who actually started filming his kirpan and his other weapon, because it was a weapon, the other one. The kirpan was the ceremonial knife, and the other weapon was a weapon. And he started filming it and then saying, "Come on, bad man, you're a bad man." That's antagonatory behaviour.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
But English
listen,
people
if
don't
you are-
accept that.
If you are sober, you see someone is walking with a knife, are you start argument with him or you just walk? You just walk.
Exactly. You just
They
walk
say
away.
he was been under the limit of drink.
I've
But
never
they say
heard.
under the limit is not mean he's been sober. Because even them friends was scared, he need like 1-2 beer to be drunk, yeah?
Yes, I
We
absolutely
see him
agree.
in a lift with a bottle of wine. Then he's been on a party. Then they went to shop for more drink. Then he's went to the pub. Meaning what? He's drinking carry-on water.
Yes, you're absolutely right, because this is the
You know,
time.
it's bit
The time
crazy.
The timestamps, okay, on that night out is a very good point to bring up. So 8:30, right? He was seen on the night of the unaliving on CCTV entering a lift, wearing a white shirt and holding a bottle. Okay, so he was having this drink, and then at 11 p.m. So this is 9:30, 10:30, 11. So 2.5 hours later, he was then walking back to his university accommodation. The judge has said he had drunk, but he was under the legal driving limit. The boy was walking. Why do you have to mention about the drink drive limit? He was walking home.
Yeah.
He was walking back to his university accommodation. And this is what we should talk about, is literally how they've built up his character. For those of us who went to university at 18 years old, or even actually just, let's widen this out. What do you know about 18-year-old boys? What do you know about 18? Yeah, what do you know about 18-year-old boys? They're lads. This boy was...
Everyone, I think, who's going for university to another city, they just want to enjoy them life, yeah, as a student. Parents is not around, they just having fun, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just out and about, laddish. Thank you, Hermit. So rowdy as F. I was an 18-year-old university student. We didn't give a fuck about nothing. You don't care about anything. We have a false sense of security at university. We think we're untouchable. That's exactly what
this
you're
is
like.
same as the parents.
18.
This is same as the parents. We can say, "Oh, my child is the best." You don't know what your child is doing when they are out.
Exactly. You
don't know that.
You don't know. You're not with your kid all of the time. And that's why I think it was very interesting how the parents have come out and all these videos have come out now of Henry with his sister. Again, this is the right manipulation. It's like, we need to really make sure that we have to paint Henry as being perfect. Why? It is so unnecessary. It is absolutely just paint him as you could paint him as a Jack the Lad type person and it would still be fine. The fact of the matter, at the end of the day, he was unalived in the most terrible way. That's the story. That's literally the story. You could have said that he was a bit, he did this and did that, and he literally picked wrong. You could say that. But this is the problem with English people, is they're too fucking sensitive to anything, and they have to make somebody a martyr. They need to have a body, and it's horrific. It makes me so sad, like really sad, that they could use somebody like Henry to push their agenda. Right, I've not said anything about Henry personally. I've not said I care about him. I've not said I don't care about him, because I try to remain as neutral as possible. I've said that he bullied the situation, he instigated the situation, and I said I think he was racist. I think he actually probably said something in that moment as well, because we know what boys are like, and the fact he was the one who started filming. Okay, that's my belief. That's what my belief. But again, I'm not there. That is just an opinion I have.
They just also put the point in a courtroom, like Henry did not been racist because his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, father, I think, he's been half Jamaican.
You see? This is ridiculous. Just because you have a black person in your family. I do these lives all of the time. All of the time. And I have people up here come in and say, well, my sister-in-law has got a black boyfriend, so it doesn't mean I'm racist because I've allowed them to come in my house. They say stuff like this all of the time.
I can say this about my family. My family only accept my husband because he's my husband. But all of them, they are racist. They're racist. They never accept him like, oh yeah, this is my brother-in-law or my son-in-law. No.
And it's so
That's
sad.
That's it.
It is so
Yes,
so
but
sad.
I was stop caring because my family is what I have here. And Yana, I don't care what people say. Before I was like worried, like, oh my goodness. When I meet my husband, they say, oh, he will get the passport, he will leave you. Like, because he's brown, they was all thinking like, no, he don't have any documents or passport or anything.
It is really sad.
Doesn't matter how long you are here. Same like you say, you was ages ago, your family came here. Same like Vikram, his father is born here, but because they are brown, they're never going to be British or English. No, because they're brown.
Yeah, and this is the thing. This is the English problem, because Britain itself has been an island of invasion and immigration for hundreds of years. So the demographics have always changed in Britain. We've had black people, we've had brown people, we've had dark-skinned brown people, we've had white people. Like, it's always changed, right? And the inhabitants of the island, the way it goes back, the people were dark-skinned. They were dark-skinned to black. That is literally how Britain was. But the problem arrived when the Anglo-Saxons arrived. The people from Northern Europe who literally came with this white narcissism that made everybody feel like they were not good enough if they didn't have white skin, right? And I know, English people forget this, that Western Europe and Eastern Europe are very different. You are not one cohesive family at all. You discriminate so badly against Eastern Europeans and even Italians and Spanish and all that kind of stuff because they have a darker skin, because guess what? They're a little bit more blessed with the sun. You didn't like that. You did not like that. And also you didn't like the fact that they had a stronger culture. Like Eastern Europeans with the food and the language and the camaraderie and family, all those kind of things that Eastern Europeans have. And that's why I spent a lot of time there in the Balkans. I fucking love it. I love it. I've been to Slovenia, Slovakia, Croatia, Bosnia, Macedonia, Ukraine, like all over that place. Poland even. I've been to Poland. I spent 3 weeks in Poland 2 years ago. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was in Gdansk. I had a great time. People were so nice. I went on my birthday. Quick side story. I went on my birthday. And the hotel I stayed at, I actually went for a fitness retreat. They were so lovely. I came out. They knew it was my birthday. Everyone was singing happy birthday to me. I started crying because I was there by myself. I went into the main town and I told the people, oh, it's my birthday. They surprised me with a cake and candles and song. I said, this is so lovely, really lovely. And even when I was walking about in the street, this guy, this guy, he just like made this really funny joke at me, and I could see he was watching. He could see me because, of course, I knew I was the only black person in the area. There was one other black person that I saw in the whole 3 weeks, by the way, and he saw me, and he made sure that he saw me. And then made a joke. Like, I can't remember what he said. He said something like, "Oh, we need to smile today because something's like," and I laughed, and he was like, yeah. I said, that really just made my day, really made my day. So I think there is this conception. I mean, I'm of course talking from a black perspective, that there's a lot of racism in the world, and yes, there is a lot of racism, but I think also as black and brown people, we also need to experience the world and have our own experiences. Like I just said, like Eastern Europeans are my favorite, and I've even put it on my page, and then English people get upset because they're not my favorite. They're not my favorite at all. So yeah, I'm really glad that you're here, Eva, and then you've been able to share some some information about what you heard in the courts. You talked about your personal opinion, and that what you've seen. So what do you think personally? This is the last question I'm going to ask you, because then I'm going to move to the next person. What do you think your perception is of the UK now as an Eastern European person with a Pakistani husband? What's your perception right now of the country?
They still look weird at me, like when I'm walking or all family is walking. But I don't think so. Is anything changed like in 2005? It's the same.
Which is not good.
It's the same.
Which is not good.
Of course, it's not good. Even I'm not talking with my English neighbor, but I talk all around, which is, I think, one is Afghani, another is from India, another is also from Afghan. I don't know, but I'm not talking with the English one, but I talk with all another one. You know, she make lots of problem. She's like jealous because we buy the house. I don't know. She just start making the problem when she find we buy the house.
Eva, this is what they do. They get very jealous when you buy property or buy cars, or your economic status elevates. That is one thing they don't like at all. They are your friend until you leave the estate or you level up. Really and truly.
Yeah, I even, because I got son disabled, and I got disabled badge front of my house, and I just parked the car to take a stuff from car because I want to go to Polish shop, and my car was maybe 10 centimeter out of the lane. And in this time, in 5 minutes, she went there to make a pictures and send to the council.
For goodness sake.
And council will send me the notes. Can you park your car in your bay? I say, oh my goodness, really?
For goodness sake. This is the problem. Again, it's like a lot of the people, unfortunately, English people are bored as well, and it is a hobby for them to hate other people. It is, they literally make it their hobby. Who can I write a letter to today? Who can I complain to today? Which friend of mine is on Facebook that I can literally say whatever I want to say about my neighbor, and blah blah blah. It's the passive aggressiveness of the culture, which is very unique to the Anglo-Saxons. This is partly also why I like Eastern Europeans, and even Icelandic people as well, and like Germans, anybody from main Europe. We talk directly. Africans, we talk directly. Caribbeans, we talk directly. English people don't at all.
No,
they don't. They literally make themselves so angry inside and twitching. Thank you. Lapis just said it. Curtain twitching xenophobia.
They love to stab you in your back. They will smile on your face, but stab you in your back.
Exactly.
That's it.
There's that song. If you guys know that song, is it by the OJs? They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The Backstabbers. That song, I think, was written about them. I think it was written about them. Thank you so much, Eva. That was so lovely having a conversation with you. Really appreciate you here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, and have a nice day, all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love to you.
But you have to kick me. I don't know. This is my first time on a live. Then you have to kick me from
I will mute you if you want to say some other things, because you're Eastern European. I normally give priority to people who actually know the culture and know things. So I'm going to just put you on mute. If you want to drop down, you can unmute and just say, I need to go. Or just exit out of the live, okay? You just press the X at the top. then
Okay,
you can-
okay, no problem.
Thank
Okay.
you, Eva.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody else on the panel, I know you've got some things you want to say, Sammy, but please do wait. We go in order here. So now we've got blunt force. I can't say the next word, but please, again, everybody mute until I call you. Okay, we go in order. Okay, so we got Blunt next, please. I've asked you to unmute your microphone. Excuse me. Are you there? Hello.
I'm next.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, you're here.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello. How are you today?
Hello.
How are you today?
You just made me stumble. Hold on. Yeah, manners and respect first and foremost. Somebody was trying to address me on the panel. I don't know who's. But you know what? We went through a few. I was going through the comments and we made our peace. So, but what I wanted to say was the guy. He took his turban off his head. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And when he's carrying his ceremonial thing,
It's Kirpan.
that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kapan. It's ceremonial, and that's what it's for, to defend yourself.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about
So,
the
he-
situation
he-
there. Like, so you've got.
I don't know the whole situation because I've never seen the video or whatever. But but the news that I heard, like you can't take the turban off.
Yeah.
And
So
me
let's-
as a Rasta, don't touch my hair.
Yeah. Thank you for that
If
point.
if you touch my hair,
I will read that part in the case, okay? So part 15 of the judge's final sentences mentions his turban, okay? And this is, of course, what Digwa had also said. And so this is where you have to understand some parts of the judge's opinion on it. It said, it would seem that your turban may have been knocked, pulled, or potentially punched off your head. The wearing of a turban at all times is another fundamental religious requirement of being a male Sikh. The removal of it by another would be considered a serious act and a further mark of disrespect.
Yeah.
It is a reasonable conclusion that this would only have added to your anger. So that's what the judge has said, okay? But it says that your turban may have been knocked, pulled, or potentially knocked off your head. Digwa had said that his turban was pulled off. So why did he say it may have seen? It's like you either believe the person or he came up with his own conclusion. He could have just said your turban amongst the scuffle or something it literally ended up off your head.
I don't think it fell out because
No.
I don't think it fell off
The way
because
it
their
wrapped.
turbans are wrapped tight.
Exactly.
They're wrapped tight.
They are wrapped. Again, if anybody knows anything about Sikh people, this is the problem with English people. They don't spend enough time cross-culturally getting to know people. This is why I said to Rene Roberts on Teacup, but it's like, yes, just because you're friends with
It
us
was pulled off.
does not mean that you actually know anything about our cultures or traditions. But yeah, I believe it absolutely was pulled off. I absolutely believe the way it's wrapped, the way it's actually wrapped in the hair, and also Digwa's hair is also a mess. Also, somebody else brought this up the other day. If you've seen a picture,
I don't know about that, you know.
Well, 1 minute, the picture of the knife, it's got hair wrapped around it. Have you noted that bit? It's got black hair.
I haven't seen that.
It's got black hair on it.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know.
Go and look up the picture. There's literally a picture of it next to a Dark Angel. It was Digwa's hair on it because the hair is black. It's longer hair wrapped around the knife.
Is that his own hair?
Yes, his own hair on it.
Yes. Sorry,
Well,
yeah.
that's fair,
That
that's
is
fair,
Vikram's
fair enough.
hair, yeah.
Because it's a ceremonial thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So why would his
But
hair?
the fact that if somebody take, all right then, I might be wearing a cap, I might be wearing a woolly cap, but if somebody takes my hat off my hair and tries to touch my hair,
Yeah, exactly. And this is why he was.
that's a
It's disrespectful.
That's aggression.
Yeah, it's aggression. It's disrespectful. The prompt.
So I have to defend myself, innit?
Yeah, the prompt I had 2 days ago, did say, why is nobody talking about Henry Nowak being a bully? Because what I read in the case and what I've read from the notes, who actually, again, from people in the court, why is nobody talking about Henry being the instigator? He was the person that started filming. He was filming his kipan. And then he was saying, "Come on, bad man." He was agitating Digwa. And then he unfortunately met the consequence of that action. Don't go around
But you
filming
notice
people.
that you
Don't
notice that
antagonize
they don't put these videos up.
Yeah, they're not going to release any video, and also
They don't use these things as
yeah.
It's so sad. There's so many cases where there's video evidence, you know, and they don't use it in courts.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's a good point as well. Either, from what I read, is that the court never saw the video, right? It was the judge that had said they've seen the video. Is that right?
Yes, some of video we cannot see, they only can see. But like you say, he punched him turban off. He was grab his hair and start swinging by his hair, and Vikram was been on a 90 degrees position. Because he was say, "I will F you up, I will kill you." And before he was attacking, he was say like, "I will show you what Essex boy can do with boys like you."
Yes.
That's why
Yes.
Vikram knows he is not from Southampton.
Yes, you're right. I saw that written somewhere, and somebody brought this up again the other day about the Essex thing, and I need to find that again. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Henry being the antagonizer in this situation.
Yeah, and
Yes.
this is what you say. All around the kirpan is Vikram's hair. And as my son is practice Sikh, Baptist, and this is all because of Vikram. No one was talking how Vikram is. I know he will not hurt no one, and Sikh people know when you can use karpan. This is on the last. He was worried that Henry can take this from him and stab to him. And he was poke him in the leg for like, "Go away, man," but he did not stop this.
Yeah, and I think this is what's really interesting. It is about the self-defense claim. I think it is very interesting, and I'm choosing my words very carefully here. I think it's very interesting that the judge has completely dismissed everything about Vikram Digra. Like everything he's dismissed. I think it's very telling how the judge thinks that every single time you punch someone is going to leave a mark. Digwa, of course, said he punched me in my eye, but the judge has said, well, there was no visible injuries. That's terrible for a judge to say, because this literally talks about any woman in a DV situation who is attacked in their own home. Oh, because we didn't see a mark means it doesn't happen. That's the kind of idea that you have in your mind. Just because someone was unalived doesn't mean that nothing happened to them beforehand. It is too much at the end and the outcome rather than actually the moments that led up to that point. There is a heavy bias. I'm trying to find this bit about the Essex thing because I read that. I literally read that. I'm from Essex. Again, antagonatory behaviour. Yeah, could you say that again, exactly what was said, Eva, please?
Like something like,
I found
I
it.
will show you what Essex boy can do, or something like that.
Yes,
That's why Vikram know he is not from Southampton.
Yes, I've just found it. Thank you so much for saying this and bringing that up. Right, okay, so let's go to this, okay? Again, we have Eva on the panel, who was literally in the courts, guys, more than you uneducated lot down there in the comment section. They think you know everything. Eva was there. The reports also talk about what was there. So let us go to a journalist who was also in the courtroom, okay? I only work with facts here. This is what it says, right? This is the testimony. It said, he said that Mr. Nowak said to him, you could have moved up a little bit more. Digwa said, I then turned around and said, you're right, I could have moved up. Carry on with your day. I then said, you're drunk. I'm just trying to get to my car. You're right, sorry. He said he was saying stuff like, I'm from Essex. You don't know what people from Essex are on. Digwa felt that Mr. Novak was threatening him and saying to him, you think you're a bad boy, before Mr. Novak pulled out his phone to record him. He said, I was thinking in my mind, he's recording me, and that this just escalated. During these months, there had been a lot of attacks on the Sikhs, and a lot of them had been videoed as well by their attackers, which is true. Which is true. We are all very aware of the anti-Muslim rhetoric rife in England. Like I said, I had somebody else on the panel a few days ago talking about the tensions in Southampton already. And Eva has just brought up that thing. Again, like I've said, Henry Novak was antagonising Digwa. Don't antagonise people. Don't do it. Because you will meet a difficult or tragic consequence if you pick on the wrong person. And that's exactly what happened to Henry. He picked on the wrong person. Thank you for bringing that up. And Blunt Force, thank you so much for bringing that up about the turban being pulled off and about the knife having literally Digwa's hair on it. This is not about defending Digwa, because he made a grave mistake and he literally was watching him bleed out after. How he handled it after was not self-defense in my mind. No way. No way. Not after. The after effects, how he treated the situation was not about self-defense anymore. It started at self-defense maybe, but it did not end up in that way. No way. Okay, we've got Soups next. Eva, thank you so much again for being here. Thank you so much. Soups on the panel. Soups, how are you? Soups, are you there? I think I've just asked you to unmute. Soups, are you there? Yes, Soups, you're there. Yes. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Not bad, thank you. I am not bad. Oh, you've got a teacup. Hold on. Oh.
My reception's terrible right at this moment. I just wanted to say that people were coming in last week. They're saying, please don't speak about this, don't discuss this. And this is because they've went out and wrecked people's properties again within a week of hearing, you know. I mean, could you imagine the state the cities would be in if black and brown people were committing that heinous crime? Like, there would be, you know, and it just shows you how little thingy there is as well, like how much little crime we're getting from these communities, because when it does hit home that one of them's used a sharp thing on a young boy and unalived him, when this all does hit home, it just surprises me, like, you know, people don't realise when white boys are doing it every day, it doesn't get any press, nobody cares apart from the families who are suffering.
Yep.
And also as well, like, I think as a white person speaking to a black woman, I think we should just all laugh right now at this White Lives Matter thing. We all know it's a banned phrase. It's been banned for years because it's a Nazis took it up. So for people to show how really thick they are by bending the knee and saying WLM is just ridiculous. Like, I've seen about 24 people doing it online now, and I've actually seen a compilation of like the biggest idiots you'll ever meet. And I just, it never feels like with the racists, it never feels to get to me just how much they know. They know nothing. Like, I have one locally. She's a woman and she originally came from England, and we love the English, but we hate Westminster in Scotland. And you'll hear in our national anthem, we hate the English, but it's more the Crown governments. So anyway, she goes to Tommy Matches and she lives up here, and she stole loads of flowers for our park and was walking home with them, and I noticed they had no polythene, no paper. These never came from the Co-op or Sainsbury's, and I was raging. And she didn't get it, and that made me realise just how thick they are. See, like when I said to her, no, but there's a law against stealing those flowers because you're not allowed to, because they're there for the result you enjoy. She didn't get that. She She thought they'd be better in her living room. She cannot see outside her living room and think about people who maybe don't even have living rooms, but they're maybe got flowers to look at. But she'll take them home as well. Like, she was really nasty, like didn't understand that law. Because they're there for everyone to enjoy. You can't just take all these flowers to the park and take them home. I sound like an old woman, don't I? Just like sitting having a moan about the local park, but it's not. It just shows you the mentality of this woman.
Yeah, it's about how you respect your respect your community.
Our outlook in life, it just all fell into place, and that's one example I could go by. But last time I was in town talking about being an old dizzy old woman at times. I'm 52, but I left my bag, and then a Nigerian guy came running up behind me, gave me my bag back, and then when I went on the bus, I had my dog in the bag, and a guy ran up and thought I'd lost my my dog, so I get my purse, I get my bag back. And then, like, a separate Nigerian bus driver came and was like, "Now where's your dog?" As if you've lost your dog. I didn't know he's here. And we get nothing but love up here. We Scottish can't really be.
Yeah. So something interesting on that point as well is I've seen some videos of Polish people talking about how they felt so unwelcomed in England they had to move to Scotland. I don't know if anyone's seen, there's quite a popular video on here now with a gentleman talking about this, that they literally were run out of England and moved up to Scotland, and they felt everybody was just so much more welcoming. It's a completely different attitude, completely different vibe on the situation. So that's just reminded me of, Soups. It's just reminded me. Thank you so much, Soups.
That's a fun point to add to that. The Scottish mentality is, growing up, if I ever said anything cheeky about anybody when you were learning like boundaries, you were maybe repeating things older people said and about the racist connotation to it. My mum would just beat me up because, like, my mum let me go to Morocco and stay for when I was 16 and I was there for 3 weeks with her sister, then moved back and stayed for a year when I was 16, and that's because my mum knows a lot about these faiths, and older people will slap you for being racist in the street. They'll say, "We're all Jock Tamson's Waynes, Jock Tam." We all believe the same. That's what they say. We're all talk and you're not special. It all comes down to the Scottish being dead down to earth, and they never being in special. Whereas England are on a parallel where the English actually do think there's something special, and their flag is and their royalty is, and we don't. You know.
That's the difference between the Celtic roots and the Anglo-Saxon roots. Very, very, very different. Thank you so much for adding that, Soups. Always appreciate it. It's always lovely to hear your voice when you come by. Thank you so much.
Be humble.
Thank you. Okay, we've got Sammy Jacklick. Sammy Jackson, you've been waiting a long time, Sammy Jackson. But now it's your turn, Sammy. So what would you like to add to the conversation, Sammy?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Hi. Thank you for this opportunity. I want to give you full credit for you made a video, and I actually agree with you. But
Which one?
Can I know what your name is? Sorry, what's your real name or not? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was saying, you made a valid point. What happened is, if Henry minded his own business, if he'd kept it moving, he would be alive today. Henry's trying to be the big gangster by challenging someone. You think you're a bad man. That's another way of saying that you want to fight. Let's have it out. Let's square it out man to man. I'm from East London, yeah. If you went to Hackney or in South London, in Peckham, Croydon, Fulton Heath, Brixton, you will get dealt with the way Wickham done to Henry. Sorry to say it, but you will get dealt with in that way. So I totally agree with what you said. You made a video about it, and I totally agree with what you said. If you kept it moving, if you would have carried on about your business, you would have been alive today, big man. You literally would have been alive today.
Yeah.
And because he dealt, and the thing is, I kind of wish Wickham would have said, obviously he never knew what the name was. It was like, "Are you a bad man?"
He said, yeah, in the script. So like I say, let me say it again. So this is the testimony according to Digwa. Okay, so this is not on video. There's some things that are on video, which is the bad man part. That part is definitely on video. But this is what I keep calling him Digwa, for God's sake. Vikram Digwa keeps saying. So he said that Mr. Novak then said to him, you could have moved up a little bit more. So Digwa has already said that he was bumped into him because he looked drunk, he was not walking in a straight line, and he was stumbling a little, right? It's shown that he already had some alcohol in his system. It was seen that he'd bought a bottle of wine. He was drinking out in a pub already, okay? So according to Digwa, he was not walking in a straight line, and then he bumped into Digwa. And then he said that Mr. Novak would be the one that said to him, you could have moved up a little bit more. And Digwa turned around and said, I turned around and said, you're right, I could have moved up more, carry on with your day. And you have to remember that in this video, it literally shows Digwa walking away after he started filming. I'm going to get to that point.
I was about to come on to that,
Digwa was walking away. So he said, then I said, you're drunk. I'm just trying to get to my car. You're right. Sorry. And he started saying stuff like, I'm from Essex. You don't know what people from Essex are on. And Digwa felt that he was threatening him because he says, you think you're a bad boy, before Henry Novak pulled out his phone to record him. And he said, I think in my mind, he's recording me, and this has just escalated. During these months, there are a lot of attacks on Sikhs, and some of them have been videoed as well by the attackers. Digwa then said he reached to block the phone and grabbed it. That which he said was followed by Mr. Novak punching him because he wanted his phone back. He said that Mr. Novak then punched off his turban and grabbed him by the hair, pulling him so he had bent over. Digwa had started to say, I'm going to kill you, and then, unalive you. And then he said, I felt like he was going to use my kipan on me. And then he said at this point, he pulled the kipan from out of his sheet and then, poked Novak in the back of his legs, and he said he was not aware that Mr. Novak was poked in the chest. That's what he said. So that's the bit which is a bit because of course after he still filmed him suffering. Okay, so that's the bit that's a bit questionable for me. And somebody else did come up here and say because the brothers have a martial arts background, they would also know to do in the legs, which is a disabling move. It's not to unalive somebody. Right, so that's also an angle to also look at, is that doing it twice is purposefully in the back of the legs to disable him, not to unalive him, but to disable him, right? This is what this person has said. So it could be a case that he didn't know that he was poked in the chest. It's a possibility. I can't say for sure, in my opinion, whether that's true or not, okay? And then it makes sense, of course, in the judge's testimonial, which said that if he felt like he was reaching for the kipan, that's obviously absolutely disrespectful and disgraceful that Henry would do that. Like he said, with also pulling off the turban, this is an absolute disrespectful thing to do to Sikh people and Sikh men, especially who take their religion very, very seriously. Very seriously. And so then it went on to say, when asked why he had not told the police about him poking Mr. Novak, he said, I was scared. This is the first time anything like this has ever happened. People say that Digwa had a criminal record. He did not. Let me read paragraph 3 from the judge's comments. Okay, paragraph 3. Whoopsie, camera. Says, paragraph 3. I need to wipe my phone from the back. You are 23. In December 2025, you were 22 and had no previous convictions. You may sit down for now, okay? This is exactly what was said by the judge. So people who are saying, he had criminal convictions, he didn't. The judge has told you there that he didn't. He did not have any. So, let's skip to the end for a minute. Yeah. Digwa made a very big mistake on that day, and he suffered the consequence of his actions. He unalived somebody. He then didn't report it. He didn't report it. He lied about it, the poking, which has made his case worse. It made it worse.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Something you mentioned, and obviously I haven't read the article, but I think I probably might have to read it. Bearing in mind, Wickham was walking away.
Yes.
He was walking away from the situation.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure you seem like an intelligent woman. You know about fight and flight?
Yeah.
Fight and flight. In this case, what Henry did, he thought, you know what, I'm going to challenge him. You got to understand, I don't know what time it was, yeah? You got to understand Wickham's side of things. It's Southampton, I'm brown, you're white. You're pulling out your phone. I think what actually happened, before I forget to mention, I reckon what happened is when Henry pulled out his phone to record him on Snapchat, I think he eventually abused him by calling the P word. I think he I feel this is my personal
Yes.
opinion. I feel like he antagonized him, he bullied him, and what's the first thing you're gonna do when you get attacked? You're gonna reach for something sharp. Sorry to say it, but in that case, he had the guard bar on, which is the 5Ks. If you know your history, obviously I'm not aiming at you. If you know your history and you know your knowledge, the 5Ks, the guard represents it.
Yes,
Right?
you're right.
I know it's not a history
Because
lesson.
you know, the Snapchat footage, according to the documents, have said you're a butt and it cuts off. So I already know that
There you go.
it's already been edited. Yes. Well done for picking that up,
And
Sammy.
if anything, I
Yes.
understand the data protection. I would love for the Snapchat to be released.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're not releasing it is because Henry is the bully.
Yes. Yes. And even actually, I had somebody
Right, and
else
I
come
just-
up here say the fact that Henry might have been known by the police already. Someone else came up with this angle and it's like, oh, this is interesting. And
Correct.
yeah, and especially if he's saying Essex bad man, la 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 la, why is it that the police would go to the situation and arrest the man on the floor? Like literally, we've talked about this. Anyone who has a situation with the police, you get testimonial from both people. You don't just go arrest the other person. He's on the floor. He is decapitated. He is literally, you know, why would the police officers do that? You take two people's statements. What happened here then? You tell me what happened, and then why don't you tell me what happened? They literally just said, okay, in this situation, we're going to arrest that person. Not because he said he was racist or whatever. It's like, that's what they literally did. They saw a situation and they said, this person seems like they were the perpetrator of the situation. And that's it. And that's it. So they also said that Digwa was known to the police. Yes, exactly. Digwa was known to the police. He was. Like, his brother pulled out a thingy in the street. Maybe they would have actually seen or known something about it. And I think they also knew, I don't know if it was at this point, I think it was after actually about the weapons. It was literally after about all of the arsenal, or the caches and cache of arsenal and weaponry that they had was after, I think. So, yeah. I think they would have known about the Digwas in the area. You get to know certain families, who's what, right? They would know all of this stuff. So, yeah. And the fact that Essex, he said he's an Essex boy, I'm a bad man, like, and challenging him, which is literally in the actual evidence has said, you're a bad man. Come on, you're a bad man. Don't fucking antagonize people.
In the real world, if you said it to someone, like I said, if you said it to someone in Brixton, Fulton Heath, Croydon, you will get dealt with how Henry dealt with how Whitlam dealt with Henry. Sorry to say it, but that's the truth. And whether people disagree, agree, that's down to you lot. But what you said is 100% facts. And I know it. Obviously condolences to Henry, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Don't act like a bit. If you're gonna act like a bad man, you're gonna get dealt with like a bad man.
Exactly.
Quite simple.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
It's quite simple.
This is just the conversation. And I'm trying to tell white people, don't pick fights with people. And they're like, yeah, well, Fox, you think that Henry deserved it. And you said that this. Shut the fuck up and just listen to what we're saying to you. Don't antagonize people and don't expect there to not be consequences. That's literally it. But again, this is about their own entitlement. They think that they can chat shit and not get, we know the saying, right?
Yeah,
chat
exactly.
shit, you get.
Yeah, but
that's it. You do.
Starts with B.
It starts with B.
There you go.
We know it. We're
I
very aware of this.
I've got a lot of time on this. I want to say thanks again. But one more thing I want to forget to mention. You know, Digwa, how did he knew that Henry was a student? So I reckon that because if he's a total stranger, how does it? He might have a student ID, but how would you know he's a student? That's
Did you
the
know
bit
that?
baffles me.
Did he know that? How did he say that? When did he say that? I'm not sure about that part. When did he know that?
I can't remember. I read it. I saw it. So as you imagine, TikTok is busy with this whole article. Someone said that Vikram knew that he was a student
In the area. Maybe he made an assumption. I don't know if he actually said it or because, of course, he was walking. He's in the university area. It says the brother said it in the phone call to the police. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Lucy has said that in the chat. Yeah, so I don't know if he actually knew he was a student or it was an assumption because of the area. Like when you go to university, those of you who know, like the locals, some of them get to know you a little bit. Oh, somebody said, I think they might have crossed paths before. Someone said this actually in another comment section, don't know if that's true or not. So he might have crossed paths with him before. He might have recognized him from something, or he might have just made an assumption to be like, okay, this is a student town. We know what the students look like, what they behave like. And of course, he said he's from Essex, which will tell you he's not from the area, right? So he
Yeah.
might in his mind think, well, he's just a stupid student, because that's what stupid students do. They think they are bad men. They think they can take anyone.
Like you said, white people think they're gangsters, but sorry,
They
mate, you're not.
do.
You get dealt with.
They do.
They do, and I totally agree with what you said. I wish kind of like, you know, and exactly what you're saying. People just think like they own anything, and so, another thing that people don't know the history. Everything is colonized: Africa, Jamaica, Windrush, Indians, slave trade, and the list goes on. Come on, you're a smart, intelligent woman. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, I think racism started with the British people. Sorry to say it, but that's the truth.
Of course it did. If you know anything
I don't
about
know much
history,
about it, but I know some of it. It's all this like coffee. It's sad. All this coffee, like comes from Egypt. Obviously, certain TV like manufacturing comes from China.
Yep.
What has the English got? Pie and mash. Come on, man. Come on, man. Pie and mash and liquor. Do me a favor, son. Do me a favor.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You should check out a video. Everybody who's here, who's my favourite person, I call him my husband. He's called Jeffrey Sachs, who is an absolutely amazing philosopher, educator, university lecturer. He is the most protected man on earth, I swear, because he talks very truthfully about world history. He also does lives on YouTube as well. He's brilliant. He has a video that says he says all of the problems in the world go back to the British. He goes, that's true in Afghanistan, that's true in Cyprus, that's true in the Middle East, that's true, of course, in the Israel-Palestine conflict. He said everywhere is always the British. Think of any conflict, it always goes back to them. And they are the antagonizers. And this is why when I had this kind of conversation a few days ago, English people were like, nah, you can't say that about Henry. Because you know your antagonists and you don't expect the retaliation. That's why they excuse Henry's behaviour. That's why they don't want to know about the fact that Henry was the instigator, because they saw themselves in him and they're like, well, we should be able to say whatever we want and not have consequence. That's it. Laura, you are a Scottish woman. I think you have not been on the right side of this. Is that right? I think I've seen very limited comments in the comment section. You guys can
She's been attacking you, to be fair.
Yeah, Laura. Laura, I've been defending the Scottish people. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Laura? Laura, there's something wrong with you. You're too colonised, I think, Laura. I literally talked about the Scottish people, how they were literally colonised. Again, they were pushed out by the English. Anglo-Saxons are a problem. Laura, stop that shit. Laura, stop it. It doesn't do you any favours at all. I literally just came out and said about how the Polish were also moving up to Scotland because they felt like you were better people. We're all going to say, don't go to Laura's house. Don't go around Laura H, because she's too English. Sammy, last point from you, and then I'm going to move to Hermit Sapien.
No, fair enough. I actually had one more, but it completely just baffled out of my head.
Do you want to keep it, remember it, and I'll move to Hermit Sapien, and if you're still here, I can come back to you?
Yeah. Well, I also say, just stay safe out there. What you're doing is great. I'll just literally give you a follow. Thank you for this opportunity, and stay safe.
Thank you so much. One love. Thank you so much, Sammy. Really good to talk to you. Thank you. Okay, we've got
take care.
Thank you. We've got my lovely Hermit Sapien next. Hermit Sapien. Hello, lovely.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. I'm always better when I hear your voice because it's been too long.
Ben, watch this.
It's been too long.
Watch these animals.
It's been too long. So, yes, please do let us know what you have to discuss here today, Hermit Sapien. Yes.
I would like to add that there's patterns of this in the media, and then obviously it ramps up when we're going through economic strife. It primes our minds for manufactured consent. So then, more stuff like this keeps happening, whether that means like the occurrence of it either keeps happening more or we're just seeing it more in the media because they're becoming more selective. It's all just priming up for whatever Farage has in mind.
Yeah. And we've talked a little bit about this before about the incel culture, right? It is priming young men to get them ready for war, which again, that's what we're seeing, right? All these Neanderthals going back to their basic brain, mashing up the streets, now talking about they have to protect white people and protect whiteness. And for Henry, the Polish boy that we never used to like, but we like him now because he's unalived. Like really, all of this basic brain shit, them showing that they've always been easily moldable. They are literally the most easiest, most manipulated people,
Submissive.
very submissive on this planet. And they believe anything you tell them. Anything you tell them tomorrow. Like, for example, now that they're flying Israel flags, if all of a sudden the government turns around and say we like Muslims now, they'll be like, oh yeah, we always liked you lot. That's exactly what they would do. They would ignore all of the bullshit that they've been literally giving and the massive amounts of Islamophobia. If the government or even Tommy Robinson turned around and said, you know what, guys, sorry, I made a big mistake. I'm Muslim now. They would be like, oh shit. Oh my God, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Let's all go Mecca. Now I fucking love it. Let's all move to wherever.
Mecca bingo.
They would Mecca bingo. They would get confused by that. They thought they were going to be at the real Mecca. They would. This is literally how flippant they are. No character, no real things to stand up for because they don't have an identity. And this is where we start to talk about things actually on a little bit of a spiritual level, is that if you have a real connection to earth or to something, you become a tribal person. You're very attached to your traditions and to your ways of life or your beliefs. Thank you, NPCs. That's what I was getting at. They are absolutely NPCs. And so it's always for the rest of us to actually acknowledge that about them, that they don't really have any moral standing. But it's always for you to reflect upon yourself about the moral compass that you have and the things that you want to do in your life, and the fact that it's up to you to break out of the matrix, because they're very much tied to the matrix, very much tied to the programming that they came with.
A lot of fear. A
lot of fear, yes. They function out of fear, which means they become very defensive. Hermit Sapien has been, let me tell you guys here in the chat, CHB18 is also here. Hermit Sapien has been my moderator from the very beginning. I don't know how long it's been now. Like a year? Do you know?
Months and months.
Like it's more than a year. It's more than a year because I've had 2 birthdays. I've had 2 birthdays. Yeah, it's like 2 years actually. You've been my moderator. Time has flown. We know the concept of time is like really jacked up. So Herbie has been here from the beginning and seen all of the crap that English people say. As soon as you start questioning their ideas or the ideology of Englishness, what it looks like, holding it to account, questioning it, picking it apart, humiliating it, because I love that shit. Like everything. Hermie has seen it all. She's seen it all. And Hermie has a very good observatory perspective as well. That's what I feel like we are as people of the universe. Is we're the spectators, right? We're the spectators and we have the ability to see things objectively. Unfortunately, English people get too triggered by everything and they feel attacked all of the time.
Just like, Charlie, why would you ask this question?
Yeah. Charlie says, are you racist against English white people? Charlie, what does that say up there? Are Polish people not white, Charlie? Can you read the prompt? Charlie, can you type it out? Are you able? Charlie, can you read? Charlie, can you read? Can you type out the prompt? Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? Are you discombobulated already? Discombobulated is my favourite phrase actually for the English. Is discombobulated. Everything discombobulates them. They get so confused, like, blah, 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 blah. They freak out over nothing. Charlie's not even there. She's not even there. Is she there? You aren't worthy of what?
It's gotten dramatic now.
Defensive much? Yeah, again, because I don't like English people. They're the lowest on my list. You got triggered, you're upset. Charlie it says English people bullied the Polish. Go to my other account. I've got a pinned post that says, I love the Eastern Europeans. I spent a lot of time with them. I remind them that you bullied them. We had an Eastern European up here for a long time talking about how she was actually in the court. She was there in amongst the Henry Nowak and Vikram Digwal case. She was there for 2 weeks in the court. She talked about how Henry was the instigator. She talked about how she, as a Polish person, has experienced the discrimination in England, married to a Pakistani Sikh guy. She's on both sides. She came here in her view and expressed that very clearly. Joyce, who are you talking to, telling them to leave England? Who are you talking to? Literally, who are you talking to? Joyce, tell us, who are you talking to? These people get really discombobulated when I talk to them directly. It's like literally, you, Joyce, what makes you think that I live in England? Joyce, what makes you think I live there, girl? Joyce, explain where you got this information from. What makes you think that I live in England? Give me some ideas as to why you think I live in England, Joyce.
The plants behind her look way too healthy to be
Look at my plant life. And my other, this one over here. Actually, these are my favourite ones over here. These guys. Ooh. Yeah, here. I also have some ones by my television over there as well. Yeah, see, in England, I could not grow any plants. I did have a plant that my mother was giving to me on my birthday, like the day I was born. Eventually it died. I was so sad. I managed to keep like one like plant bit. But seriously, since I live here, they almost take care of themselves. Because guess what? I'm not in England, Joyce. We've got the climate here for plant care, Joyce. Rasta Biggie's got 73 plants in your house. Jesus, I need to get up to that level. Honestly, I really want to get up to that level. But you're absolutely right with your points, Hermit Sapien. It is literally prepping and priming people. And it is the cycle that keeps repeating itself constantly. Joyce, she says, shout a little louder. I love it when these Neanderthals come by. Honestly, I love it. I love it because they don't have any ability to actually grasp any kind of conversation. So they just say, if you don't like it, leave. Why are you shouting? Joyce, shut the fuck up. Literally, shut up, Joyce. Shut up, Joyce. Your name's even Joyce as well. Joyce, that's how you would say it. Joyce. Oh, yes, I need to tell you guys what's happening on X. Thank you so much to that person in the comment section. So they said, just checking that I'm okay. Okay, guys. I'm on X now. I said this at the very beginning. I need to bring this back up again. This is not the first time I've made it to X, okay? Because you know the right-wingers, they always they're scouting around on the internet, right? They're scouting around. They're like, what can I get angry about today? A black woman talking sense. Ah! They get angry. So the first time I went on X was so funny. It was a video from my old account that I was replying to a comment. Somebody said, oh, well, don't act like you won't get affected by when the immigrants come. Bitch, I am an immigrant. What the fuck? I'm like, I'm literally a descendant of immigrants. Why are you thinking immigration is going to affect immigrants and descendants of immigrants? I laughed about it and they posted that on X, that video. Look at this girl. She's... And now they've got the video. Well, I've asked if Henry Nowak, if you've seen it on my page, did he deserve to die? That's my question, using white logic. I clearly explained the video very clearly, but we know these Neanderthals don't have the process in their mind to actually think critically. They don't. No, Tommy Robinson blocked me. He blocked me months ago. I tell you why Tommy Robinson blocked me, noticer. So, if you guys saw, he was basically saying, okay, this always makes me laugh. He was saying, yeah, Tommy Robinson blocked me. So, sorry. So there was a post that he put up saying, oh, look at this algorithm. It's targeting gay stuff. Like, it's gay. And then everyone was like, dude, that's your algorithm. What are you looking at? Just literally targeting, but I don't get any like gay, underage, something it was saying. And everyone was like, Tommy, that's you? And I replied, yeah, he blocked me. So I had the screenshot of his post and I just replied, like you can actually find the video on my page because I talked about it on this account actually. So I said, Tommy, it's 2025, because this was last year, just love who you want to love. That's all I said. My bitch blocked me. He blocked me. It was so true. He blocked me. I literally was giving him my approval. Boy, go love who you want to love. Maybe you'll be happier. You wouldn't be so aggressive and angry all the time and stirring up all this shit if you literally just went out and out. Closeted gay men are one of the most furious groups of people. Just fucking come out. He blocked me. So now again, I'm on right-wing Twitter. For this, did he deserve to be unalived? And like I've said, I presented the case because, again, a lot of these English people can't read. I said he was the antagonizer. Judged by how you talk about black and brown people, because you always say, well, they deserved it and they should have just complied or stopped resisting and then you wouldn't be unalived. You know all of the stuff they say about black and brown people. All of the time. They say this about us all, that if he did this, if he did this. So I just asked the same question. Did he deserve it as well? In their logic, I said, this is your logic, this is your idea. They tried to turn around and say, well, you said that he deserved it. I didn't fucking say that. I've never said that. I've never said that. And
Mind
this,
game.
my absolute mind games, but also at the same time, it tells you exactly what they think, is that they do think that they are the exception to the rule and that everybody else who antagonizes others should be unalived. That's what I literally got from that. That's exactly what I got from that. One rule for them and another rule for everybody else. The fact that they were so angry by the question being put back to them and said, well, you're saying he deserves it. That's literally what you think about us. So again, if you had empathy as white people, you would actually understand that that is a problem. It is a problematic mindset to have. But again, their mental gymnastics is just like... So, they just don't have the ability to process these things. So thank you for the person. I missed the comment. It went by so fast. Thank you. I'm fine. Like I say, it's not my first rodeo. I did have somebody on here who's also done a video about me. And the funny thing is, when there's a particular guy on here that does a video on me, I'm not even going to mention his stupid name. Someone did mention it earlier, but I don't even let his name pass my beautiful lips. He posts the videos about me. And you know what he does every time? He tags me on stories because he's like, I need to make sure that Fox sees this. He tags me in stories. So then, of course, you know who has viewed a story, right? Instead of actually just posting something on his page and just saying, oh, this is about Fox, he puts me in his story, right? And then he expects me to do something and retaliate. Because I've done one video about him. I'm not going to mention his name. Go and watch the video I've put about Fanny Clark and the White Devil. And I post a video on there about the person who actually put a 6-minute video about me. It's that person. So if you've seen it, you can go and watch that video. And they get so discombobulated, I fucking love that word, over you saying things like, oh, the white devil and white people. They say all this because they're not evolved enough to actually separate themselves. Yes, Sunny Sunshine, I said the white devil. I mentioned about that guy. I mentioned about the white devil who lives within the white Western Europeans. And sometimes... it just takes an intelligent black woman to activate that shit. Not even by saying anything. In that video, I talk about how someone even gets triggered by my necklaces. Because my necklaces are so fabulous. They're like, ah! they get mad over nothing. Really and truly. And on that note, actually, I want to bring up something from the other day when I did that Henry Nowak was a bully live. Someone came up here and basically told me to stop antagonizing the white people, the English people, because they were essentially afraid of the consequences. Nobody needs to say anything, or you can say everything and say nothing to these particular group of Neanderthals. Even if I was not on TikTok at all, if I was not speaking at all, do you think that would stop them? Really? Would it stop English people from being the Neanderthals that they are? No, it wouldn't. This platform is for us, it's to empower us, it's to talk truthfully, it is to laugh, it is to heal ourselves through all of this, right? That's what it is. Paddy Honan, you say, if Henry's name was Christoph Nowak, do you think they would be slower to weaponize his whiteness? Yes. Someone put this on my TikTok video, so actually let me show you guys the TikTok video that I posted about this. So this is why this topic is today. It's basically about that video. It's on now 272,000 views, 300. Oh, it's gone up a lot even since I last checked it. This just at the beginning of this live. It's had another 1,000 likes, 33,000.4 likes. Okay, this is the video about them using Henry Nowak's hand and putting a British flag on it. Completely weaponizing him and removing all of his... Yeah, absolutely insane. Completely weaponizing him, degrading him in his last moments. They put a British flag on his dead hand. Considering what they did with the Polish and how they spoke about the Polish. And in the comment section, it is full of Polish people. Why has the camera just gone weird? It is full of Polish people talking about how disrespectful it is, talking about how much they were hated by the British. I'll actually change the back. So I actually had loads of screenshots, but I can't show them all because of the resolution. But this is one, okay? So this is replying to me about the fact that they were discriminatory, the English were discriminatory against Eastern Europeans. They say completely right. Still to this day, I witness it and I had to break up an altercation myself. It is a double standard at this point. Even the whole flag polluting, it makes them feel uneasy to a point. For people like us, we've dissolved, this is an Eastern European person, it was a Polish person talking, by the way. For people like us, we've dissolved in society and just gotten used to this sort of oppression. But I don't think we should let them get used to this as well. But rather, we make it known we don't stand for this. Okay, that's one. Another one had said, as a Pole, the whole outrage over Henry's tragedy is so fucking disgusting. It makes me nauseous. First of all, his family already stated not to use his unalivement to spread hate against Sikhs. Why are they disrespecting his family's wishes? Second of all, right-wing Brits used to advocate for deporting Polish immigrants they considered Slavs. Not white enough. Why do they suddenly pretend to care? Oh, right, because then can weaponize it and justify their racism. My comments section is filled with Polish people saying this. And also, like we just had somebody up here, Polish married to a Sikh person, talking about the discrimination that they've always felt. I need to do a video about how the unaliving of Polish children, Polish kids were unaliving themselves because the bullying was so bad by English people. They were unaliving themselves. It's terrible. There's so many unalivement cases. Also, I don't have the screenshot, but they were literally adults that were passing. These is Polish people telling me in my comment section, there were adults, English adults, passing notes to children saying, "You're Polish vermin." To children. That's what they were doing in England. Don't ever trust anything the English say. And even other Polish and be like, oh, so you like us now? You like us now? Oh, still got, by the way, Loveism. I think you were blocked by mistake. By the way, still got. You were blocked by mistake. I know you said all lives matter, but you needed to put in quotes.
That's the reason.
You need to put it in quotes.
That's the reason why
oh, you're there. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice you were back on the panel again. But yeah, it was a mistake. So good to see you again. Hermit Sapien, are there any last points? And then we're going to go to Auntie Jenny, and then I'll come back to the still got.
No, that was all.
Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. Okay, we've got Auntie Jenny next, please. Auntie Jenny, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, lovely. Hello. What would you like to add to the topic?
Number one, I don't watch the news, so I didn't know nothing about this, only for what I've seen. So when you popped up, I thought, let me just listen. And I listened and I thought, let me just talk about my experience with someone that knows nothing about this case. Because I do not watch the news, because I just prefer to live in my own little world. I was living in East London, in a nice little cul-de-sac in East London. And I was like the first person to move into that cul-de-sac. So I made sure that everybody that came in, they had that village mentality that we didn't live like that. We were different. Hi, Dark Angel. Maybe it was Dark Angel, but somebody I was following. But then this Polish family moved in. And they were antagonizing we had there was 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of flats, 6 flats in each. Nice green in the middle, children played together, nice East End. It's there now. And these people came and they were just trying to wind us up in every single way. And I'm talking about a really well mixed society we had. We had a really, really mixed, we had, whitey people, black people, African, whatever. We all got together. Sometimes we'd go out in the middle and everybody bring their food out. We'd cook together. These people came to antagonize us, but they came into the wrong place. Because they wanted to go. I think that's when a load of Polish people had just come over. They heard that if you complain, you get moved in a certain area. So they wanted all to be with their people. But luckily, we were in touch with our housing officer, and she was a lovely BLK woman. So they phoned up and complained. And when she turned up, we all stood outside. All of us, all nationalities. And she just came and told them, no, I'm not moving. This is a nice area. I've worked with these people for years. You best behave yourself. And that was it. And it could have almost got physical. And I remember they had a little boy, because I've been Auntie Jenny for since I was 12. I was born old. So I remember everybody's like Auntie Jenny, like us, a new family moved in, a new African family. I see a little boy on top of a car. I said, Get off of that car. He goes, it's my mum's car. I don't give a damn whose car it is. Get your ass off that car before I slap you and send you in. Go and tell your mum that Auntie Jenny told you that. That's the way I dealt with it. Yeah, the people they're still there now because they didn't get to move. Everybody else like bought their places, moved out, but they're still stuck there now renting. And they had this little boy. The little boy was the most spoiled Polish boy you ever know. You know, like when they worship this child. When he comes in and he starts talking about Auntie Jenny, and I can hear, she is not your auntie. He said, listen, right, she's everybody's auntie. And because he was so spoiled, he refused to do as his family said. Romeo was out there with the rest of us. He'd knock on my door. He said, Auntie Jenny, my mum and dad, they got your letters. I know they got letters in your parcels because it's got your name on it and I can read. I told them I'm going to come and say, give Auntie Jenny her parcels. They've got them in the house, Auntie Jenny. That's how good he was. To this day, these people are still there. They had to fall in. They tried to like turn our area into a car park. I went out there and I said, listen, right, if those cars are not moved by tomorrow, I'm going to start getting my baseball bat and I'm going out there. I'm swinging. You're not selling no cars around here. We don't live like that. They had to move them because they realized you can't come and run this place as if it's yours. You drop in or drop out. And because you can't drop in and they won't allow you to drop out, you got to put up. And they're still there to this day. Romeo just integrated with everybody. He integrated with everybody. And as for the Scottish woman and going to Scotland, I dated a Scottish man. And I went to Scotland and I experienced it. But they moved to me and I moved back to them because I'm that kind of woman. Because I realized that they have no etiquette. They can't eat properly. They do not speak English. They do not know grammar. And I was raised right. So you can't act like you're that you're better than me. No, these people were Polish. They were Polish from Poland. But when I went to Scotland, I experienced racism. And the only reason why when Polish people go to Scotland, you can't see no Polish person step into a Scottish person.
Yeah.
You know, because the Scottish don't bend like the British, like the English. They don't bend like that.
Yeah.
So when she's saying about them going to Scotland, let them go there because they got to drop in. They got to drop into place. Because when I went to Scotland and she saw me, this woman saw me, this Scottish man, and when she bounced me, I bounced her back and I just stood there. Like, who you think? I'm not that woman. You can't intimidate me.
Okay.
And I'm with some big burly YT men. All of them are big and square and massive. You know, when she looked at and they know that, listen, them men were so scared. They goes, Auntie Jenny, you're gonna cause a riot in here. Because when I step up, I'm looking behind me. Where are you? You're with me or you're not with me? And the best place to be with me. So when I step to this woman now, her in that old craggy face, to let her know that, listen, right, you can't intimidate me in Scotland. And when the people were behind me, she had to realize, like, do you know something, right? Like, you know, I'm sorry. And the woman started apologizing. I'm sorry. And in certain places I went, I realized that if you don't know about LBLK people, then don't assume and don't guess.
Yeah.
We're going out to restaurants and these Scottish people are putting napkins in their neck. They can't use a knife or fork. They're eating like they're stabbing something, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, they're not better than me. Oh my gosh. They've got no, as my granddaughter would say, they have no manners and etiquette.
So when you went up to Scotland, did you actually meet any other Polish people? Like, or were you living up there? Or you just visited?
No, the Polish people were in East London when they first came.
So that's your.
I was just talking about that.
So that's
my experience of Polish people.
So the kid now, you say who's integrated. How old is he?
Oh, he's got to be. He's got to be in his I'd say, he's got to be in his 30s now.
Oh gosh, so a long time. A long time.
Yeah, this is when they very first came over. It was really bad in the East End of London. It was very bad. So when they came over like the bullies because English are weak. But you know what I mean? The English are weak, but not when you got Auntie Jenny in your village to like tell you this ain't happening. This ain't happening because I remember somebody broke into the neighbour's house and nobody saw the person. I said, tell me what they were wearing. And when the police told me what they were wearing, I said, the person lives there. I said, we don't shit on our own doorstep here. Somebody goes, oh, you're screaming. So no, I'm protecting my village.
So you haven't heard anything about the case at
Only
all?
what I've seen, most I've heard is just now.
Yeah.
From you.
Oh, okay, so what you've heard just now, do you have an opinion on what you think Henry Nowak would be? Like, the way that I described it, or way that we've described him, would you say that feels a bit familiar to you?
Listen, from my experience, you play with fire, expect to get burnt. It's really that simple. I'm not condoning anything.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning but I'm saying you cannot play with fire and don't expect to be burnt.
Yeah.
You know, you push a dog, you see a dog sitting there, or the bear. When they say,
bear.
do not
Don't
poke the bear.
Don't
You
poke
poke the bear enough, and eventually the bear's going to switch on you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And just because you might poke on, like the Three Little Bears, you might poke on Mummy Bear, might not do nothing. You might poke on Daddy Bear, might not do nothing. Poke on the little baby bear and see what happened to you. So some people like to go around poking the bears, and you know what? One of the most calmest, quietest people are the Sikhs.
Yes.
They're the most softest religion ever. They're so nice and so this and so that. But you get that's a backslider, that's on alcohol, and you push his buttons. All of them times when he's had to be little and be humble, like they are, don't say nothing. You get called his name, don't say nothing. He's gonna switch on you. You've poked that bear too many times.
Yeah, exactly.
That young man's mostly got, for him to be drinking alcohol as a Sikh, that's trauma.
Yeah, they won't. He won't.
That's trauma.
In my sort of reading, which is very limited about Digwa, the fact that and somebody brought this up, Sammy was talking about the 5Ks. Of course, if you don't know about it, it's literally like the 5 pillars of Sikhism, and it seemed to me that Digwa. Vikram Digwa took that very seriously, very, very seriously.
Yes.
And the fact is, like, let's read a little bit more about this case, okay? So I've mentioned about how the judge is very biased. Like, guys, please go and read it. Go on judiciary.uk. You'll see it if you look up sentencing remarks. If you just look at cases, it's on the first page already. It's something v. Digwa, Vikram Digwa. Let me read paragraph 9 for you all here. Not long after 11 p.m. on 3rd December 2025, Henry Nowak was walking back to his university accommodation in Portsmouth, Southampton after an evening out. His route took him north along Belmont Road, and he was approaching a junction with St Denis Road, where you lived with your family, because he's talking to Digwa, right? This whole case file is about him talking to Digwa, essentially. Henry was not drunk, but may have been affected by the small amount of alcohol he had consumed over the previous hours. He was not a regular drinker and did not generally drink to excess. His blood alcohol level at this time of his death was below legal limit for driving. Like I said, he's an 18-year-old boy at university, right? He's also in the football team, by the way. Also in the football team. Judging by his attitude and behaviour, does it seem likely that he was not a regular drinker? He bought a bottle of wine to where he was going, and he was drinking, and for some reason the judge needed to say, at the time of his unalivement, he was below legal limit for driving. He was not driving.
That's still high. That's still high.
Yeah, he was walking, and Digwa had said he bumped into him, and also.
And how low is low?
Exactly, everyone's got a different limit. I said so.
It could be 0.5 under.
Yes, exactly. And then I even said about how English people, all of a sudden, you don't believe in lightweights, because what do? If you drink with an English person and you drink white, but they always say, "Oh, you're a lightweight." All of a sudden, they can't believe that Henry Nowak could be a lightweight. Also, there was something that he must have been some kind of drunk, right? Because in the Snapchat video, he is seen saying, "Hello, car." What does that even mean? Like, what? Hello, car. He's filming, walking down the road. He's probably said a car and just been like, "Hello, car." Does that mean he's affected by alcohol? Maybe he's got ADHD. I mean, me personally, I do talk to random shit around here as well, but he's also got alcohol in his system, okay? So he's saying, "Hello, car." He's singing to himself and he's yawning. Like I say, that could be me.
I've never heard of a teetotal Polish. It just like that, the two words that go together.
Yes, if anyone's been to a Polish wedding, and I have,
never heard of it.
Nastrovia.
Polish friends.
Honestly, I've never seen so much solid, pure alcohol in my life. Only at a Polish wedding. I thought I was going to be unalived, like myself with the alcoholism. I thought I was going to not make it to the end, because honestly, Nastrovia all of the time. Like, slow the fuck down. Can you not just like?
When they came to my village, it's like as soon as the sun come out, there was going to be a barbecue, there was going to be people coming around, and there was going to be lots of drinks. Never seen so many drinks, and that ain't even a party. That's just like, oh, let's come around for some drinks. I've never heard of it. I have never ever in my life heard of a teetotal
Polish person, let alone an 18-year-old kid at university. Like we said earlier, when you're at university, he's from Essex, right? He's in Portsmouth, he's away from home. That is literally when you do everything
and when you're drunk, you get brave. That's when your bravado comes out,
right? Exactly.
You get the Dutch courage. That's why it's called Dutch courage.
Exactly.
You drink.
Those of you who have been at university, you know the things that you did back then. You would probably never even think about doing them now. So drinking is very low level in comparison to some of the things that you would have done at university the first time away from home. So yeah, I think that's a very good point to make as well. Culturally, it doesn't seem appropriate that Henry would not be drinking, as well as the age factor as well. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
It's like when you look back at each generation gets more militant. You know, like you before your grandparents, if you look at the way they handle certain situations, your grandparents, your great grandparents, things like that. With the Sikh guy, you know, considering they're the more humble of the humblest people, he's a new generation. He's a new generation. And when they take their religion seriously, you can't mess with them like you did back in the day with Bob. You know, because I used to hate that, because every Sikh person, you know, what's your name? Bob. I'm a manager and you're telling me your name is Bob. Give me your name. You know, if I can't pronounce it properly the first time, let me pronounce it first, second time. Teach me how to say your name, but your name is not Bob.
You're
so
very
when you get
correct.
these new generations, you know, because the stuff that I put up with, my son would never.
Yes.
You know, so when these young people are coming thinking, well, yeah, you know, because all Sikhs are humble and quiet and that, until you meet the wrong one or the right one, and he's going to check you, rightly or wrongly, he's going to check you.
You're absolutely
and
right.
And it might be a shock to people's system. So if you see somebody, do not generalize. You know, mind your own business.
Somebody
Leave
brought that
people
up.
alone.
Somebody did bring that up a couple of days ago when I did the live about this previously, about this particular thing about Henry Novak being the instigator. Someone had said this new generation of Sikhs is more forward. You know, they take their religion more seriously. And so if you challenge them, the consequence will be some kind of altercation. That's what she said, right? She wasn't even Sikh saying this. She was saying from her
the things that they carry with them are protected by law.
Yes, and also there was a Sikh
by law.
Yeah, there's a Sikh guy who was also around in these parts. You guys know Bollywood. He also said the same thing. He said, "You're absolutely right. This new generation of Sikhs take the religion very seriously, but at the same time, they're growing up in an environment in a country that doesn't necessarily support them or their ideology." Right, because we know for a fact that all of this anti-Muslim Islamophobia is also spilling out into other religious groups, and the nearest brown group is the Sikhs. You know, look at the attacks that have been on Sikh women recently, purposely running into women, raping them. Horrific cases, and even did you hear about this? Yeah, did you hear about the case though, Auntie Jenny? Maybe this was to do with John Ashby. That I don't know the person's name. But he literally raped a Sikh girl thinking that she was Muslim, and he was disappointed that she was Muslim. He wasn't Muslim, sorry. He was purposely trying to rape a great Muslim girl, but because she was Sikh, he was like, "Oh, I'm disappointed."
This just goes to show my granddaughter was right, the lack of education.
It's too much.
The lack of intellect.
Yeah, it's too much.
You know, they don't know.
Thank you so much, Auntie Jenny, for that.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you as well. Thank you. Okay, now we've got Paddy Honan there, please. And I think, Paddy, you're going to be the last person. And then we're going to wrap it up for today. Paddy, are you there? I know you're on thingy.
Sorry, sis. If I can make one point. Can I make one point, sorry, sis?
Yes, go for it.
I was going to talk. Actually, sorry, it's 2 points.
Yep.
So the demonizing of Sikhs is actually disgusting. I grew up in Hackney. My friends were Panji and Sukhdev. They never ever showed me their Quran. They told me we can't take it out because our religion. We've had fights with people. They never drew for their Quran. They're not allowed to. They always used to quote Guru Nanak to me. I grew up knowing about it. That's the first thing. Second, the second point I want to make is that you do know in this country you can carry a flip blade as long as everyone can.
Yes,
there's no rule.
The pocket. I've talked about the pocket one, and the fact that some people have been unalived by pocket ones. They have, and yet there's been no restriction. I've worked as a carpenter. I used to carry deadly weapons every day. I'm allowed to under law as long as they're locked away. So what happened there was something totally different. That Persian knife that was used is designed in a way that when you stick it into the human body and you pull it out, it closes the wound behind it. I'm pretty sure. Didn't I not tell you?
Sorry.
Don't be so graphic.
Sorry. sorry, when you use the knife and you extract it, it closes the wound behind it, causing internal hemorrhage, and that's what happened. But you made a very interesting point when you spoke about the Snapchat.
So there's a warning on my screen. I don't know if everyone is seeing this. Please avoid promoting negative stereotypes, etc.
But I'm actually saying positive things. Yeah.
No, I think it was about me. Apparently, I said something, but I don't know what it is I said because I say a lot of stuff.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. I'm going to go to Paddy because Paddy is. I've got some more points to make.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the point that you made about the Snapchat. Why did Vikram call the police? Because he had every opportunity to run away and get away with it.
Yeah, his brother did.
But I always wondered, why did he call the police? Because he must have known that once they arrive, he's going to get found out. He can't go anywhere. He had an opportunity to leave and flee. There was no CCTV apparently, so the only evidence is on the 2 mobile phones.
Yes.
So I think they do need to release all the information to the public because it's causing unrest.
I absolutely agree, but we know they're doing it on purpose. Hence why the judge's transcript is heavily biased. It's heavily biased. The brother is the one that called the police, but I also in the transcript it said that your brother and your father and somebody else the judge is implying that those people took the religion more seriously. Right, so that means that possibly the brother was like, well, shit, actually, I do need to call the police because this is not acceptable in a way. I guess this is just my thought and opinion. But
do you believe? I don't know if this will offend people, but do you believe that the brother was totally unaware that there had been a conniving? Because on the phone when he called the police, they said, "Was there any weapons?" And he said, "Why would there be weapons?"
Well, the mother took it.
He knew they were coming.
But the mother took it, didn't she? So they would have known. I'm sure they would have known.
But there's a human body there that no matter what will be discovered to have been punctured when they came. So that would have been inevitable and irrefutable because they're all at the scene.
Yeah.
So do you think it would? I don't know. There's so many holes in the story. We need all the information.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
You know, but yeah, that's what I want to say, sister. But if you can, please unblock me. That really hurt my feelings.
Yeah, it's like the mods did it.
I was thinking I said something nice.
I'll unblock you.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no worries, bro. No problem.
But enough love, though. Enough love.
Yeah, cool. Yes, there are very, very big holes in the story. There's bits and pieces. There's, like I said, the Snapchat thing. Not really. Paddy, we're going to come to you. Thank you for coming back. And again, if you actually read the case file, it is so biased. Let me read this part, which is incredibly biased. Like I said, I've read all of it, and some parts I've read already are biased. So yes, this part. Okay, let me read this. Yes, this is paragraph 10 of the judge's final sentencing remarks. It says, "You were sober." This is, of course, towards Digwa still. "You were sober, but you were carrying a large Sikh in a sheath attached to a belt over the outside of your clothing. It is a strict requirement of the Sikh faith to carry a knife called a kipan at all times. Generally, this will be a small knife hidden from view, often on a length of cord and worn around the neck. The Sikhs I've met have never worn it around the neck, by the way. They've been on the belt on the side, just to let you know. In my experience, they've also been on the belt. And that's how I knew. I was like, oh, let me see that. What's that you got there? That's so cool. Show me that. What does that mean? Because I'm an inquisitive person. So it says, you had that, but in addition, a larger in a sheath. You're a member of an order of Sikhs called the Nihang, who have a tradition of having a second knife or kirpan that is often fully visible, believing that the Guru will look favourably on that. You observe that tradition in your everyday life at work in public. However, it was not a strict requirement. Does that sound like an unbiased judge again? Talking about the traditions and the faith and the particular ceremonial knives. He's saying now, however, it was not a strict requirement. That is borne out by the fact that neither of your brother nor father who arrived on the scene after you had poked Henry were so dressed. So just because the father and the mother and the brother came out not with theirs, it meant that Digwa was different because it's not a strict requirement. You chose to do that. So he's trying to insinuate that this is a premeditated situation, that Digwa carrying the second one meant that he was going to use it on somebody, even though he has no criminal record at all, as also mentioned by the judge in paragraph 3. And it said, according to Professor Gurnham, sorry, Paddy, I'm going to come to you, just mute for a second. According to Professor Gurnham Singh, Professor of Sociology and expert in the field, over the last 30 years, there has been a trend towards younger people wearing a kippan with pride in a desire to express their cultural identity. They see it as an act of resistance to being denied the ability otherwise to display their identity. So he's already again insinuating that this younger generation, like we've talked about, are saying that now this younger trend of kids, they're going to be wearing this thing, right, as a desire to express their cultural identity. They see it as an act of resistance to being denied the ability otherwise to display their identity. He's judging the Sikhs. He's judging this group of Sikh people. He had already made up his mind regarding Vikram Digwa. Like we said, the sentence was just. He unalived somebody, but the fact is he is so biased in this case, so biased, he has failed to see so many different other angles to it, which is unacceptable. If you're working in the justice system, you need to be neutral as possible. Please, in your own research, in your own time, go to judiciary.uk, click randomly on different cases and read them. You will find them to be very much unbiased. This case is so biased. The way it's presented even is like it's a document, like an essay written for you to read. Go and read. Truly, they knew that this particular PDF was going to be accessed by the public. It is written with a particular heading, Judiciary of England and Wales, blah, blah, blah. It is literally about the case and how they're presenting it, knowing that you and I are going to read it. It's very biased. Right, Paddy, please. Paddy, are you there? Paddy? Yes, Paddy is here. Hello there, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I'm a white Irish guy living in Portugal, and I've spent my whole life advocating and as an activist and volunteer for everything from Black Lives Matter to Indigenous rights, etc. And I think I saw your video on Eve Sakila, and that's how I saw your content. But I also lived with Sikhs in Hounslow back in the day, and just the misrepresentation of Sikhs and like the percentages of crimes that Sikhs actually perpetrate is so low compared to, they're just the beautiful people, really. And like, I just think that the kind of confirmation bias acrobatics that the right, they'll do anything to create some sort of scenario where they're the victim. They gave Henry a white pass, even though, they voted for Brexit primarily to keep Polish people and Eastern European people out of England.
Yes.
But they gave him a white pass so that they could commodify him, and then they misrepresent the Sikh threat, while also colonizing the black cause, with their fist and this is another George Floyd, so that they can then pivot against all immigrants. It's just mental.
It is mental. Like, it is
pretzel logic. Like, hello.
Yeah, it's too much, and it's all done by intent, right? To bring in certain groups, like mentioning Black Lives Matter. Of course, we've had very big conversations about this for the last few days. About they've literally tried to again colonize, which is what they do, right? Is they take everything that has already been existing in the world and just trying to make it their own, because they have no original ideas, like at all. That's it. And they're trying. And the thing is, some of the media I've seen has said reclaim. They don't even know what the word reclaim is. You never had it in the first place. What do you mean reclaim? You're just trying to take something away. And also what I think is very beautiful in a way is that the fact that black people, our activism is so powerful that they've literally had to co-opt it. They know that our activism, it absolutely works. Clearly it works. So they're like, shit, let's just try to replicate. But because they've got no critical thinking skills, they've never actually tried to apply it in a way that makes sense. So that's why everybody's laughing at them. If they think this is going to be a global movement, fee, Nikki, who comes by on my panel quite sometimes, and she's in the comment section, she's brought this up and it has made us laugh. It's like, English people, if you're expecting the rest of the country to stand with you or the rest of the world to stand with you, it ain't gonna happen. Like, Black Lives Matter, when it escalated, when it exploded in 2020, was a global movement. The biggest protest the world had seen since the 1990s and against Iraq war. Millions of people worldwide.
Absolutely.
Millions. And it was because of systemic racism and the fact that there was hundreds of cases that we kept seeing on our social media, because remember, we were locked down at the time, right? So every time we turned on our social media, we saw another black person unalived, another black person unalived, and it was constant. It was heartbreaking to see it as a black woman living in the UK. It was hard to see that all of the time happening. It was really hard, really hard. So we had to just stand up for ourselves and be like, we don't want this shit. We're already experiencing it low key in the UK, systemically. They're already unaliving us through the NHS, falsely arresting us, accusing us of things, putting us in prison and unaliving us there. Everything was happening covertly. Plus, there was also riots that honestly would keep happening since 1919. People don't look at the history and realise that English have never liked anybody, especially black and brown people. They have slurs for every group of people on this planet. So we were always having to fight for ourselves all of the time. And so having to see that there and then realising the country that you live in, they've lied to us all about how safe it is, right? They've lied to us all, and they've made us try to accept that the bullying that we experience as black people, as Irish people, they try to make us think that this is okay. Right? Because if we start to live amongst them, we just accept the bullshit that they give us and they say it's okay. But then as soon as you say something and you stand up for yourself and you get defensive, they go harder sometimes. And so that's why it's all about us empowering ourselves. And really, I know I have a certain privilege myself not living in the UK anymore, but truly the last few days I have felt so much more powerful than ever. I actually come back and forth from the UK now. The first few months I was a bit like, oh, I'm a bit wary. But now I feel so fucking powerful. And honestly, I've spoke a lot to right-wing people in real life as well. When I go to protests, like I have a story about it as well. But I'm not a sort of person that gets afraid of these people, because a lot of these people are just talk. This is what we need to understand, is they do a lot of talking. So someone just asked me if I was okay, because one of my videos is on X now. And I'm like, this shit has happened before. And I think about the other black and brown women who are literally on television right now, fighting the right in your face. They are doing it. They are going to these spaces. They are going to protests. Narinder Kaur is one of them, right? Also, I never remember her name. Dr. Shola is also another one of them, right? There's another lady who always goes on GB News. I can't remember her name. Again, these are the people that we should all be looking up to as black and brown people. Look at the people who are actually in these right-wing spaces. Look at how they behave. Look at what they do. And think that we shouldn't be afraid of these people, because all they are is fucking Neanderthals who can't even string a sentence together. Why would we be threatened by that? Like, why? Why would we literally be threatened by these people? Because honestly, if you actually went there and actually had a conversation with them, honestly, I feel so protected by the universe right now that I feel like I could go to the protest and actually have a word with them. Honestly, I do feel like, even though they'll be shouting and screaming in my face, I'll be like, boy, stop. Just stop.
Absolutely.
Just literally stop.
You know, it's like the Doors song. I won't use the word, but it's like they've got the pews, but we've got the numbers, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, social change, like let's say even with the Black Cause, you had Trayvon Martin, you had Philando Castile, you had so many different cases.
Sandra
but I
Bland.
think that at the absolutely, that was just ridiculous.
Horrific.
Yeah,
that photo haunts me to this day. Sonia Massey, thank you. The photo of Sandra Bland. I'm tongue-tied. What did I just say? Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland, thank you. That haunts me to this day. Sometimes I have an image of her in that moment. Sonia Bland, sorry. Sandra Bland, yeah. Sandra.
It haunts me. They accused her of, not putting on her indicator, and then they basically said that she killed herself. An activist, and a very active activist.
Right.
That's not what you do.
That is not what you do. And again, like, if anyone needs to read the case, they should read the case of Henry Nowak here. Is like I said, there are 5 paragraphs, okay? So paragraph 1 is literally addressing Digwa, telling him to stand up. He already starts, all right? So this is how it starts. Stand up, please. Henry Nowak, 18, died, I was unalive. Well, he says died, actually. He doesn't say killed. He says died on 3rd of December, 2025. He was a much loved, kind, hardworking and ambitious young man, devoted to his family with a bright future. He was a first-year student at Southampton University, with the first in his family to go to university. He was careful and principled, full of humour, warmth and promise. Again, like I say, go and look at any other case and see if they butter up any other victim of any other case in the same way. You won't find it. The second paragraph says, you, Vikram Digwa, unalived him. By doing so, you robbed him of all of those he loved, all the things he cared about and liked to do. He would have been expected to live a long and hopefully happy and fulfilling life. You don't know that, Judge. Anyway, you have brought misery and a lifetime of loss upon his family and great sadness to everyone who knew him. And then the next one is, you are 22 with no previous convictions. And then the next paragraphs go on. Again, Mark Nowak, Henry's father, described it as devastating. Next paragraph, Lucy Ross, Henry's mother, described him as this. Next paragraph, Olivia Nowak, the sister, described him as this. David Stevenson, stepfather, described him as this. Katie Woodcock, stepmother, described him as this. So again, it is more and more and more and more and more and more trying to get people to be, empathetic towards Henry. That's all it is. It is so much manipulation that I've never seen in such a long time in any case whatsoever in the UK as well, especially. It is so manipulated. And again, like
and
I
you've
said...
seen...
Sorry. No, go on.
You've seen cases where white perpetrators, great rapists, who have, the judge has been told, or the judge has even said themselves, that they had, he was a football star and he's a great future. Where one guy more or less got off because they were saying, well, we don't want to take his future from him, even though he's the criminal. So they flip it both ways?
Yeah, and look at most recently, you had those 3 boys who raped those girls, the young girls, and the judge said, well, you've learnt your lesson, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It's ridiculous.
What the hell?
It's ridiculous. But like I was saying, I think that, okay, we've got the numbers, but the thing about it is we're up against, let's say even with Nigel Farage, these people are being massively funded by the likes of Elon Musk and these guys who, the billionaires who want to divide people and want to empower these very right-leaning groups to create all this chaos. Oh, it's the immigrants that are the big threat. But as they say, it's not the guy on the little boat that is your threat. It's the guy on the yacht.
Yes.
Not anything against people with yachts, but I mean just metaphorically.
I want a yacht.
The billionaires. Yeah, we all want. Exactly. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. It's always about deflection and being like, okay, look at those people over there. They're the ones who are a problem. This is why people don't understand how deep manipulation is in English culture. Manipulation is what has got them to be the British Empire. And even though it ended in 1997, it still hasn't ended because colonisation still exists on the island. We had a Scottish person coming up earlier, or in the comment section, talking about English, and it happens. I know you of course know in Ireland as well. Some people are like, get the Brits out, and the others are like, we love the Brits. You bloody idiots, don't love them. They are not helping you at all whatsoever. So colonisation works in many different ways. So yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to end the... Was there something you want to say, Paddy, before we end? Because we're going to end.
Well, just the final thing there. I was just looking at a video yesterday where the woman was talking about even Winston Churchill, how his memoirs were recorded like 20-something plus years afterwards. And the great speech that he gave was a recording afterwards. And... as he said himself, history will be kind to me, for I intend to write it. So much was left out of the colonization, the millions of Indians that were slaughtered and starved and whatever.
Horrific. His
You
years
know,
of 3 million in the Bengal famine. We always bring that up. Or even the 200 years of British in India. Killing millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people and stealing all of their wealth. This is why history is important. We had somebody come up earlier, Rob, what was his name? Yeah, Rob, I think his name. Somebody who was on the panel earlier. He was 38, talking about history. And this is why it's really important for everybody who's English to educate themselves, if they are able, because self-education is very important. If you don't do that, you don't have any clue as to why the country is as it is and why it's falling apart and why all these conversations are happening. You end up so far behind because the world is moving faster, right? We can all move it, it's right? And you've got to keep up with that shit. You got to keep up with it. And if you don't, you literally fall behind and you're done for. That's it. There's no hope.
The most important thing is independent investigation of truth. Is that we go and research things, find out the evidence, and form an opinion based on facts.
Absolutely.
Not just conjecture and spin and algorithms and all that stuff.
That's it. And that's all I work with here is facts. But certain English people who hate that so much, they hate the facts. Not my problem. Right. Thank you so much, everybody. Dark Angel in the chat, you asked me if I will be on live later. Probably not. I'm normally on once a day, if that. The last few weeks I've been on more frequently. Usually it's been twice a week. I probably will come on tomorrow. The thing is, I now have in my mind certain subjects that I want to talk about. So I'll probably be on again tomorrow. Not sure what kind of time. I will put it in my status as I always do. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming by. Thank you for the compliments in the chat there, saying there is an intellectual panel, and compliments for myself as well. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. This is what I try to do. Bring intelligence to social media and to these platforms, because it really is so devoid. And I'm always so grateful because we have a lot of people that come to the panel who are also intelligent and have great angles. And I think today has been a very, very good panel. Very good panel. So thank you to everybody who is sitting here currently, everyone who was sitting here earlier as well. You brought amazing things. And I think we've really rounded out the case a lot more, haven't we, in terms of Henry Nowak. We're all of the understanding now that Henry Nowak came from a Polish background. It is very odd and very strange that you would be from a drinking culture and not drink, especially at the age of 18, being at university, being a footballer. It's very odd that it seems to be out of character. But at the same time, we don't know for sure, right? These are just opinions and speculations. There is, of course, we know the Sikh community, like everyone has said, and like everybody mostly knows, I think most people know, most educated people at least, knows that the Sikh community has so little crime and little trouble in the UK. So it didn't seem likely that Digwa would actually be an instigator. The case has shown that Henry was the instigator in terms of people who've been in the jury, who we had somebody earlier saying that they were there, and also by the reports were actually given by journalists saying that Henry was saying, go on, you're a bad man. He was instigating the situation, okay? He was instigating it. It was also said, of course, that he had alcohol in his system. There is a likelihood that, of course, when you drink, you bump into somebody. Henry is likely to have made the first contact. Then an argument ensued. Henry, it is shown in evidence that Henry got his phone out and started to film Digwa. He started to film him, again, in a perhaps interrogatory manner, because why would you get out someone to film them? Digwa, in his testimony, he had said, you say that you're from Essex. He'd said that in his thing, like, you don't know about Essex boys. Why would he do that? Again, it's antagonatory in Digwa's testimony. This is what he said. Then a fight ensued. Digwa's turban had come off. If you know anything about Sikh community, again, it is, and especially as Digwa has actually practiced the 5Ks, and all of those things are very, very sacred in Sikh community. If you take off someone's turban or somebody's turban comes off, it is so offensive, really offensive to them. Digwa then reacted to that, potentially that part, right? And it meant that he poked him. In Digwa's testimony, he had said, he had purposely done the legs. He didn't realise that he'd done the chest. This is his testimony. He didn't realise. He knew he did that part. He admitted that part, okay? And then stuff happened after, which again, it was part of the fight, which is he also had another thing on his neck and another place. There was 5 wounds, okay? But if you look at also the picture, is that you'll see that Digwa's hair is around the knife. Why would it be around there? Why would his own hair be around that. That is something that you should also question. Then, of course, the Henry tried to run away. He ended up at a property, falling over some bins and collapsing. The brother then called the police, not realizing, maybe he did realize, we don't know at this point, that Henry was wounded. Digwa had lied at this point and said that nothing had happened to him. That's definitely on video. That's, of course, evidence. He lied and said that he had not hurt him when he had hurt him. But when the police came, right, so remember at this time, before all of this happened, his kirpan and his other weapon was sheathed. It was not out, okay? Henry Nowak saw it and started antagonizing him over it. Then, when the police came to the scene, they would have taken both testimonials. Mr. Vikram Digwa, you tell me what happened. Mr. Henry Nowak, you tell me what happened. The police at that situation decided to look at the situation and arrest the guy on the floor who was incapacitated. Again, you would question, why would that be? We live in an 87% white country. Why would the police not believe or choose to believe somebody who's on the floor over a brown man who's standing? Some of you try to think that this is a racial bias. It's really not like that at all. They do not believe black and brown people first and foremost. The police do not do that. Someone else came up with an idea that perhaps the police might have known about Henry already. We don't know that it's true, but it's another possible angle. Did the police know about him already? If it's in this testimonial of Digwa saying that he's from Essex, he's bringing up this Essex stuff, and he's antagonizing already, which is on the video that he's antagonizing, what else is his other behavior around Essex, around Southampton? If you are a student, right, people do get to know you. People, some of us have been students here. People do get to know you. Bouncers of clubs get to know you. Sometimes the police get to know you. Of course, at the end of the night, if they're around, they get to know you. It's a possibility they might have known him, hence why they saw him on the floor and probably thought, oh, it's another boy just on the floor drunk. They might have thought that too, right? So you have to basically look at all angles, and the police really messed up in this, not realizing and not actually believing Henry when he'd said he'd been poked. And that's where we get to the end of the situation, okay? So a boy lost his life. He ended up losing his life. He picked the wrong person to have an argument with, and he ended up suffering the consequences of his actions. And the police, when they came, they failed to triage the situation correctly. Whether they had their own bias or whether they didn't, they still did not investigate that scene correctly at all. So there we are. And now Digwa has now faced the consequence of his action. He has 21 years in prison. This is a life sentence which we have not seen in the UK for a very long time. There'd not been many cases above 10 years, but they needed to make an example of the brown boy because two-tier policing. But how interesting is it that at a similar time you have the case of Chaz Corrigan and Mohammed Al-Ghassim, right? Al-Ghassim, sorry, is that you have somebody else with 22 years. Parents involved in the situation, removing the weapons from the scene, very similar. And I will ask you on that note to please go and read both of those cases on the judiciary website. Go and read Rex versus Chaz Corrigan and go and read The King versus Vikram Singh Digwa. So this is actually the king who is representing. That should also tell you something. The King of England is representing the victim against Vikram Singh Digwa. Important to note that. Right, thank you so much, everybody. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for your brilliant comments on the panel. Thank you so much in the chat. Thank you, as always, to my wonderful moderators who are also always dealing with the morons in the comment section. Right, I'll see you guys again another time. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.